Morning, Gig. Morning, Skywalker. If you're out there, I seen where you were first this morning. Man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm dragging. Been a long few days. Had to take Pop to the hospital Thursday, I think it was, and his pain was real bad. So the nurse came over and set up his medicine schedule. I had to give him a syringe with liquid morphine in it under the tongue, I don't know, like 0.5 milligrams or something every hour. Every 4 hours of pain pills and this fentanyl patch every 3 days. So that 1 hour thing's kind of tough when it gets late at night. And the first two nights, I just set an alarm for every hour and I'd get up, and that about killed me. So last night, I think at midnight, I give him his two pain pills and a squirt of the morphine stuff. Morning, Gray Wolf. And I, oh, brain ain't working. And give him his two pain pills. And I set an alarm for 4 o'clock, which was 4 hours later, and let me get a little bit of sleep. And I got up at 4 and gave him his two good dog in the house. It's the dog and Gray Wolf and Skipjack Cindy. And give him this squirt of morphine, his two pain pills at 4, and I'll do it again at 8 when the show's over. Hopefully he sleeps until then. We'll see. If he gets up or something, I'll probably have to go. We'll just play it by ear. It's good to see all you guys bright shining early this morning. That was my cat. He's got something wrong with one of his teeth or something, and every now and then it hurts him, and he does makes that noise. But I don't have the money to take a cat to the vet right now, so. How was everybody's weekend? Anybody go fishing? I know Cindy and them was fishing Friday. I don't remember about Saturday though, because it's kind of a blur. Thank you, Gray Wolf, man. I appreciate, guys, all your thoughts and prayers. Believe me, uh, very much so. This community is awesome people, and it helps me a lot. Believe it or not, especially when there's nothing going on and there's somebody doing a live or something. At least I got something to pay attention to. No, I haven't heard anything about Dustin. I seen Stan last night on Lance's show, and I think he's still got a couple more surgeries. Man, it's I couldn't imagine. Good thing he's young and has them injuries. You know what I mean? Because I know he said something about a broken forearm too, and yeah, it's a good thing he's young because he'd be my age and have that. But I'll tell you what, you're probably gonna be in the hospital for 6 months or so. Fishing for Whiskers. Good morning, or did if I already said that? I apologize. It's kind of early this morning. Hey J and J. Good morning. I had something happen the other day. I ordered something from Walmart, and it was supposed to be here yesterday. But I got a notice that it was going to be late, and I looked, and it was filled by some hacks or something in New Jersey. Just like I'm like, really? What? So I ended up on the online with Walmart. Like, hey man, I didn't order crap. I didn't order nothing from nobody in New Jersey. I ordered something from Walmart. I got my damn money back, and I always use PayPal when I buy stuff. I don't care if I'm buying it from my own doctor or whatever. I use PayPal just for things like that because I just ended up going through PayPal and told them what happened, and I sent them a copy of the chat log, and the refund's coming. I don't know what Walmart is going to do, but had I known it was going to be filled by somebody else, I would have read the reviews or whatever before. But when I read the reviews. It had like 15 one-star reviews about stuff not getting shipped on time. So it's just a heads up. If you order anything from Walmart, you might ask them before you order it. Hey, who fills this? Does the Walmart warehouse fill this, which is located about 40 miles northeast of me, or is this filled by some hacks in New Jersey? I sent them a really good email. I can be rather sarcastic if I have to be, and it was full sarcasm. And hopefully they'll remove them from their fill order stuff. You'd think after 15 one-star reviews about stuff not getting shipped on time that just maybe you'd say these people aren't really fit, but they represent your company, so we're done. And I knew better. I should have ordered either, like through Amazon or Cabela's or something like that. So now I had to order it through Cabela's, and I have no idea when it's going to be here. No problem, Chris, buddy. This is as much for me as it is for you guys. To be honest with you, it'll give me a few hours of reprieve from everyday life. I still got to try to do 2 appraisals somehow the next couple of days. One of them I haven't seen the house yet, but I called the people and they never called me back. It's like, I suppose if you want to do your loan, I reckon you'll get a hold of me. It don't matter to me one way or the other. What I done the other day, my light like this right here I use for fishing. You always wonder, man, I wonder how long it'll last before the batteries go dead or whatever. So I charged it up yesterday to the 100%. And I set it down here and turned it on at 12:36, and it was just about out at 8:45 this evening or in the evening. So I'm figuring it was bright enough to see with till at least 6:30. So it's like 6 hours. I'm like, because I always worry about leaving it on. I shut it off all the time. Good morning, Jody. I can't believe you're up. Yeah, Jody, I had no idea they done that, to be honest with you. So I didn't know. I just assumed you got it through Walmart. I had no idea that they did what they did or whatever. Don't know whose bright idea that was, but they just lost a customer. You better hurry up, Jody. You got 1 hour to get there, and you may not get no breakfast. I'm gonna pray that you stop and get you some breakfast. Know how you do it, man. Y'all was fishing when I went to bed last night. Hey, Gray Wolf, awesome, man. How long you been clean right now, buddy? You have my admiration. I've been there. Because of all the drugs that I have in this house right now, I had to go to VA and I get a shot in my stomach with some stuff that won't let me take any opioids. It's too risky. If you've been like you are clean now and you had to go through it, oh man, dude, that's awesome. So you're over the physical cravings and more into the psychological stuff. That'll work. But man, I called my VA doctor and talked to him, and I was like, hey man, we're gonna have to do something, and it's easy for someone who's never been an addict. Say, oh, you just got to have willpower and blah. Yeah, you can kiss my ass is all I gotta say to that. All right. I grew up in the '70s, and I've done and stopped doing every damn drug there is. If you name it, I've done it. I guarantee it. And I even was an alcoholic at one time and just stopped. But them opioids, they designed that product well to do what it did. And so if you or anyone else have a problem with that, please email me if you want help. I got a million things to help you get over that stuff. It is a horrible existence to have to live that way. And I don't think I'm ever going to be the same after, to be honest with you. Before that happened, I was going dirt bike racing 2-3 times a month, doing stuff, happy all the time. I was a pretty happy go lucky kind of guy. And not anymore, man. It done something. Actually, it's been about 6 years now, and I was pretty much a very, very active up until I had to come and start taking care of my mom and dad. And I was like, man, you can't do both. There's no way you can do both. And so I had to reach out to VA and get a little help. And I'm glad I did. My life's a little bit better now. And Gray Wolf, don't be afraid that if it gets bad where you're going to fall back again, call a doctor or someone you can count on. Doctors, if you don't have one, find one and tell them, say, hey, man, I need, you know, I didn't know. I don't know how people do it, but I started out on Suboxone. It saved my life. You go from jonesing every 4 hours to almost normal in 2 hours when you start. It worked that well for me, and I stayed on the program for a couple years until this shot thing came out, and I get a shot in my belly. It hurts so bad, but I just figure it's paying pittance for all the stuff I done, and you only have to do it once every 30 days, and it works awesome. No cravings, no, I don't even think about it. So it's just something to think about if it gets really tough. And I'll have to do that until I'm done doing what I am with mom and dad and them, because like I said, I got 2 bottles of liquid morphine sitting up here in my cabinet. Yeah, Greg Wolf, I understand. Mine, I had colon surgery, shoulder surgery, and a knee replacement in a span of about a year and a half. And I think that's how it happened, or at least got me started down that road. And I think once that thing's triggered in your brain, you know, it's over with. It's kind of like drinking. There's a chemical. Some people's brains are made up where they can have a drink and set it down, and then some people have a chemical imbalance in their brain where when they take that first drink, there's no shutting it off. That switch opens and it stays on, and you drink until you're passed out, pretty much. And there's no scientific, cure for it. It's just some people have that genetic defect and some don't. Yeah, Skywalker, but you're a pimp, dude. You know what I mean? I would get hooked on that, but gee, I'd get so tired of doing it myself. Thank you, brother. I needed that. All right, man. Thanks. That's priceless. I did get a cool little new toy in the mail the other day. I'll open it up here a little bit later. It's too early right now. It's not. I don't even know what time it is, but it's early. 5:13. Okay, that's cool. I got lucky. I got the thing pinned up there because I have to do it like through my phone or whatever. Go on to the gig. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with smoking pot. Nothing. I got totally successful friends that are like you, 50 years easy and no problem. In fact, I think it's a lot better than have been drinking alcohol and stuff. There's, in my opinion, if you're like you, for instance, you fish and you work for yourself, you've got to be a self motivator. So if you can smoke pot for 50 years and still motivate to get up every day and do what you do, not a problem. And I guarantee, I bet you probably never had an ulcer or nothing. But anyway, I got the thing pinned on there and I had it on my phone. I always use it as like a backup or something. And halfway through it, all of a sudden it kicked in and started doing an upgrade. I hate when that happens because it always does something to your phone. I honestly, my nurse, even the hospice nurse lady, she even said that there may be come a time that I need to get that for pop, some gummies or something like that for the pain. So I've already put the order in for a buddy that lives in Michigan to come down and see me and bring me some. I'm surrounded by states that it's legal in. Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan, it's all legal in. Yep. See, yeah, I guarantee it. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Where I live, though, in fact, Kristen and Telly worked at Eli Lilly, and it's probably the best place in Indiana to have a job. I guarantee it. Benefits, pay scale is off the wall, but they're fighting. They're headquartered in Indianapolis, and they're fighting, tooth and nail at the state house to keep it from becoming legal. Oh, are you in upstate New York, Grey Wolf? I've heard it's beautiful up there. I've never been there, but I heard it's really pretty. And for the longest time when I was younger, I thought New York was just basically New York City. You never thought of the state itself. Amityville, there you go. I just watched a documentary about a guy and a lady, husband and wife, old to back in the day, that were probably the first ghost hunter people or whatever. And I'm talking, 60s and 50s like that. Oh, really, Grey Wolf? I may have to come up and see you just to make sure you're living all right up there. It is, dog. I agree. See, Illinois right next to me. I'm in Indiana, man. And, in Michigan, I used to go up there surfing all the time. It wasn't legal then, but it's a good thing. Hey, good morning, Dave. Uh, it's a good thing it wasn't, because I'd have probably imbibed a little bit while I was surfing. I think it would. I think that and surfing would go real well together. Because surfing, you kind of have if your brain works that way, you have a connection with, the cycle of the waves and things like that. It's kind of hard to explain, but you get a connection. It's the most relaxing thing I've ever done in my life is going surfing. Dirt bike racing is the funnest thing I've ever done, but surfing is different. Hey Brandon, how are you, man? Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you guys. I appreciate y'all coming up and saying, hey, I don't know if you're hitting thumbs up or not. It doesn't really matter to me, to be honest with you. I don't even know how many subscribers I have. I probably haven't looked in a year. See, dog, that's it right there. They're trying to figure out how they can lock in the license for the medical side of it. That's exactly what it is. You're on the same thought process I am. And I mean, this state's always been backwards. I mean, we didn't start selling cold beer or alcohol carry out on Sundays until what, 15, 20 years ago at the most, I'd say. Did you, Chris? I've been out there once surfing in over there, a place called Cardiff by the Sea, San Leo State Park. It sits right on the ocean there, and they're in the Carlsbad, Encinitas area. And I understand why people live there. I mean, I get it. It's beautiful, but I don't know how they afford to. Thanks, Fishing for Whiskers. It California, the coast was beautiful. You know what I mean? But I've never seen so many people. We flew into LA. A friend, the guy I went with from Wisconsin, he's a surfer, and he's from there and has friends there and stuff. And we flew into LA, rented a car, and went by and got some boards of his from his friend in Los Angeles, and then drove down there. And I'm glad he was there, because I'd have never been able to drive and all that. It was unbelievable. I don't know how I mean, that's the part I don't get, how you could live with all them people and how they afford to live there. Skywalker's up north, Chris. He's way up in Northern California. I think he's around the Oakland area, which is still kind of hard. I mean, there's still a homeless issue all around, but that's pretty much starting to be everywhere. Some places just hide it better than others, I think. For instance, there's a big homeless community in Indianapolis, but I don't know where it's at. I suppose they did have a place under an underpass that they had built a pretty good community there. Had this guy was pretty much like the mayor of the area, and kept it you know as squared away as you could keep a homeless encampment. Let's just put it that way. I mean, you're not gonna not have drugs or anything like that, but he kept the violence and the robbing and stuff down. Where if you did it, you weren't there no more. Oh, cool, Chris. We actually went surfing there at the pier when I was down there that week. But there was a big thing, and there's a documentary about it on YouTube about them coming in and they're going to clean this homeless encampment out, and how the guy stayed, and he was like, no, he said, we have a good thing here, and you guys aren't doing anything to help none of us. And he stayed there until they arrested him. Yep. Skywalker. That's what I did when I lived north of Indy. Indy's I don't even do appraisals in Indy no more. It's their homicide levels out of the world right now, and it's not worth the money to me. Because when I lived in Noblesville, which is the suburb north of Indianapolis. Indianapolis is Marion County, and then there's Hamilton County directly north of it, and that's the place where people like Reggie Miller and Peyton Manning and stuff like that, they live in Hamilton County, and that's where I started out doing all my appraising and stuff because their real estate never slows down. Hey, Hilly Billy, how are you, buddy? I'm just gonna call you Hillbilly because it's easier for me. My family comes from the hills of Kentucky, over by the Kentucky West Virginia border. Skywalker, I agree with you, dude. I don't even want to get into it, but yeah, this country's in a whole lot of trouble if it don't happen. And I'm at the point where I'm old enough, I don't care personally, but man, I feel for my grandchildren. My son's a lib, so we're not allowed to talk about politics when we all get together. Me and him made that personal agreement between us because we love each other, but we hate each other's views. But I actually after this country elected, well, in theory, elected Biden, I quit. I said, I'm done. I give up on this country. I'm not even gonna fight no more. If you people are that stupid, you. Oh, are you hillbilly? Nice. Yeah, my family's from. My grandmother was from Harlan, Kentucky, and then Grandpa was from actually out in the middle of nowhere, but the closest town is a place called Whitesburg. And believe me, if there was work down there, my family's, I don't know, we got 90, 100 acres or something in the mountains, all old growth forest, never been logged, never been stripped, no coal mines or nothing. And my great grandpa, who actually was married to a full blooded Cherokee, and I was thinking about that a while back, that, interracial marriages didn't become totally acceptable, in my opinion, until probably in the 80s. So could you imagine this guy living in the middle of the hills, marrying a Cherokee woman, which I suppose it happened probably more than I think. But anyway, he had this land. He got this land down there, and he put it in his will that it could never be logged, mined, or anything without 100% consensus of the oldest child of each family. And they had 9 kids, I think, and so there's some parts of the family that won't sell it. We have our own little graveyard there and everything. In fact, we got to take Grandma up there in May, but it'll never be sold and never be logged because they will never have 100% consensus. Because it's like Mom was Grandpa's oldest child, so she has his vote since he's gone. And then when she's gone, I have her vote, and I'll never vote for it. It's such an awesome place. It literally sits in a valley between two mountains, and you can't get you're lucky to get radio reception on a car, let alone anything else. And when you talk about being in the middle of nowhere, I can show you pictures of the middle of nowhere. It's so beautiful. when I was a kid, you either had to drive across this creek to get up into the yard or the driveway, or they had a swing, one of them old swinging bridges. Anyone that's been in the Appalachians know what I'm talking about. And if you did drive across the creek and it rained and the creek flooded, well, you was there till it went down, you know. But and it was like that for years and years. And I guess the county came in, as the government always does, and build a bridge for them, made them put it in big concrete monstrosity thing, and so it wouldn't get affected by flooding and all that stuff. But it's a really cool memory. I mean, and this wasn't a swinging bridge like you see at the state park somewhere that's great big and nice with big cables or nothing. This was Grandpa built a bridge kind of thing. You're right, dog. God only made so much land, and there ain't never going to be any more. And the simple fact that anyone in the family can go there at any time and camp out. And there used to be the old original 2-room house used to be there, but it ended up burning down about 10 years ago. So now there's a little shed. It's always had an outhouse. My whole life there's been an outhouse there, and they built a new outhouse about, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago. And so it's a place for the rest of my life, my kids' life, and my grandkids' life that they would be able to go to anytime they want. Because if you need to get away from the world, that's the place to do it. Oh, gig, I know. My grandma and them lived outside of Zephyrhills when I was in high school. And I don't know what, 35 years later or something, we had to go down there and move grandma and one of my uncles up to Indiana and grandpa because he'd had a stroke. And it used to be such a beautiful place around there. And it's literally, you can't hardly see any land at all. It's all developed. Everything's developed all the way from where they lived in Tampa Downs over to Zephyrhills. And before it was all country. A lot of people don't think about the interior part of Florida. There's a whole lot of land in Florida that's not around the ocean. Yep. And we was down there the last family reunion, and I don't know who they were. There's so many people that when you got 9 brothers who are in their late 80s and had who God knows how many kids they had, that when you get a family reunion, there's going to be 100 people there probably, but there was a couple guys back here digging up ginseng, and Grandpa's oldest brother, who's the oldest son, thing like that, in their family line of doing things or whatever, the oldest child's always in charge, and he went up there and rung him there ain't nothing leaving this land. Put it back and don't touch nothing. Nothing comes out of this land. And all I could think of is they probably came back a month later when there ain't nobody there and dug it all up again anyway. You know what I mean? Two bone hits and catfish. And, yeah, I can see it. Oh, I do too, Hillbilly. Believe me. When when you have family in cold country, you know all about clean water. Believe me. There's a lot of places down there in eastern Kentucky that you can't drink the water out of the wells from just the coal mine. The coal companies come in and raped that place and pretty much created slaves out of the people that lived there. You know, they would build these big communities with little houses on them and stuff. And if you worked at the coal mine, you and your family lived there, and they had their own stores. And like for instance, on Tuesday, if grandma or whatever needed something, she went to the store and got it, and they just kept tabbing and they took it out of their paycheck. when the time came. And they were pretty much trapped there, they couldn't get away. And if you got hurt in the mine or whatever, well, sorry, you gotta go. Next people's coming in, and they would throw them out. And that's why at the time, then the unions they unionized. There's a good documentary about a union strike in Harlan, Kentucky, where Grandma lived, and they had a big coal strike and ended up having to call in the National Guard. And Grandma was telling me before she lived with us, before she died, and she was 103 when she died, but I'd sit and talk to her every morning, that, and she had her coffee and graham crackers, and she was telling me a story about, yeah, I worked and I was 18, and I wanted to get away from home, so I went downtown and I got a job at the diner, and I rented a little room up above it from the lady and the man that owned it. And I was talking about, the coal strike or whatever and how tough it was there. And she said, yep, I seen them shoot a man on that bridge when that was happening. And I'm thinking, come on, Grandma. I love you, but you're getting old. Don't be telling stories. Well, I found that documentary on YouTube, and sure enough, they shot some guy on that bridge during the coal strike. And she was there because she said that, yeah, we would have to fix lunch for the National Guard guys and take it out to them and stuff by the bridge. That's American History 101 for the Appalachian Mountains that I know of. Coal miners and sharecroppers, yep. Yep. And I'd read a book about, the history of the Appalachians or whatever. And the people that moved there to live, for first off, the people who come and founded America, because they didn't discover anything. It was all people who were already here, but they founded America. They were like the adventurous. I don't want no one telling me what to do type of people. And they come here and they get established. And the people who went into the mountains, because it was tough to go into the mountains in Homestead or whatever, they were people with that much more spirit, because they started getting government here, in the eastern states, and they were like, the heck with this, and off they went. So mountain people have always been a hardy breed of people that, not really isolationist, but unless you're from there, if you show up, they're not going to trust you. After the hurricane gig, you know, didn't that happen up in the Panhandle one time too? I forget, Panama City, I think it was. We went to, and there wasn't a whole lot of beach left in front of those big condos or whatever. And they said that the hurricane had done it, and they were in the process of rebuilding the beach. Yes, it is by Red Bull, the Nectar of the Gods. This is my first one of the day, so I'm just glad I was able to. If I hadn't got up at 4 to give Dad his meds, I probably wouldn't have made it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I sure need a break. I don't got anyone to, to give his medicine. You give him medicine every hour during the day up till midnight, and then sleep until 4 in the morning. And I'm not young, and I'm not super old. I'll be 60 in February, but I don't know how long I can keep it going. To be honest with you, I need some angel wings, dog. Thank you, brother. I'm telling you, I sure do. Yeah, I've seen, like, surfing up in Lake Michigan. Naturally, they're all sandbar breaks, but I've seen what big storms do to the how it shifts the sand and totally changes the surf break. And the same thing with and does to the sand on the beaches and stuff. Gray Wolf, big 55. I don't know where the time went. You know what I mean? My son's birthday was the 13th, and he's 36 or something. I'm like, really? You're almost 40 years old? Get out of here. And my grandson, my oldest grandson's got his learner's permit. Where I don't get to see him a whole lot right now. I lived, they moved to Hamilton County they lived in kind of the beatnik, artsy kind of area called Broad Ripple in Indianapolis before when they had Charlie. And then I think after they got married and Donnie come along, a few years later, they moved up to Hamilton County. And when I lived up there, I got to see them all the time. It's about 50 miles from here, I reckon, 50, 57. And I just don't get to go over a whole lot now, you know, because I don't have anybody come and hang out and watch dad with mom, help mom because she can't see, to help mom and dad that I could go over and spend a couple of days or something anymore. And, they both work and, kids, I know how it is, how busy it is when you got kids, if they do any sports or arts or, musical instruments or whatever, it's your day's pretty much ate up, every bit of it. You're still a young man. 63, dog. You're older than I am. I'd have never dreamed. I'd have figured you was in your early 50s, buddy, to be honest with you. Because the thing you do on Jody's live on Fridays is one of the most innovative, fun things I've seen come through the 2 years I've been here as far as being unique and stuff like that for a live. It's pretty cool, actually. The first time I seen it, I was like, get out of here, man. That's awesome. I'm going to have to do something about my weight, though, be honest with you. Turning 60 might be my motivator because I need to lose weight for health reasons alone. I don't have any problems now, but I will have, you know what I mean? Yeah, Grey Wolf, that's what is his commercials. I didn't know what y'all called it, but I always watch it and I like it. It's hilarious. No, I have not heard anything from Real Time Fishing. I've sent him a couple emails and I got one back explaining to me that he wasn't going to be able to do Fridays anymore. And other than that, I haven't heard anything. I know he was having some kind of health issues. Hillbilly, I ain't going to tell you what I weigh, but it's 200 plus. And I'm only 5'7". A gig, they put me to sleep too. I actually end up having to turn them off because I get to laughing at them fussing with each other. And I finally said, I got to turn this off because I can't not listen. You know what I mean? So I had to turn it off so I could go to sleep. There you go, Hillbilly. How tall are you? Yes, Mr. John Grey Wolf, exactly. Or I'll probably send him an email today. I know he communicates with everybody else. I don't communicate with him that much, but I'll send him an email and just let him know I was thinking about him anyway, 6 foot, yeah, I'm 5'7", so we're setting about the right same thing, body mass index or whatever. Skywalker, don't say a word. I know what you're thinking. How'd you lose the weight, Grey Wolf? I'll be honest with you, mine's pure laziness and a horrible diet. That's why I weigh so much. I won't lie. I know exactly why. But I think we're gonna Loveline, what is that? Do they have a YouTube channel too? I know what you're talking about. I remember it from the MTV days, but do they have a YouTube live channel or something? Not with me. You're not, Grey Wolf. I don't have Facebook, buddy. But we're getting ready to get the meal delivery. There's a thing called Mom's Meals or something that I think they actually get covered by Medicare, but Medicaid won't cover it. But we're going to just pay for it, and that way they bring, I think it's 2 meals a day for 5 days every week. And the guy lived across the road from us. He had it, and he said it was real good. And I'm going to uh, look into getting that to bring it to mom and dad. And then when I got them squared away with their own meals, then I can start getting my diet squared away the way I want to eat. Oh, is it Classic Loveline Gig? Like it's the actual old show from MTV or something? That's cool. Really, Chris? Well, then the only other reason you would have, I guess, if you don't eat much is the amount of activity you do a day. You know what I mean? I right now I'm pretty stagnant as far as activity goes. If your body's not moving, it's gaining. But if it's moving, it's not. And it's getting in the mindset to work out is my biggest issue. I'm not gonna lie. It when I say I'm lazy, I ain't lying. I'm lazy and I hate it. I never used to be. Don't get me wrong. I was never heavier than before went through the addiction thing, and I don't think they know yet the effects that the opioids have on the long term effects it has on the brain. Yeah, see, Gray Wolf, that's what I'm wanting to avoid. The VA does blood work every 6 months or so, I think it is. And I think I'm due. Yeah, it is Hilly Billy. I ain't gonna lie, brother, man. I get wore out. It's like, well, I'll do this tomorrow, and then something comes up, like the thing that happened last week with Dad. I had big plans. It was going to be warm this weekend. I had some stuff I wanted to do in the garage, and then I was going to try to go fishing, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. And the bad part is, me and Mom were talking about it's just going to get worse. He's got bone cancer. It's just going to get worse. I mean, we were in the hospital Thursday, and they gave him lady come in and give him like a half a milligram of Dilaudid and didn't touch it. Literally didn't touch it. And I've never had him give me that once. I've heard about it and seen it on the street back in the day, but I mean it helped some, but it didn't make him comfortable. And then the bad part is they no sooner give it to him and the guy comes in with the portable x-ray machine and starts moving him all around it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. He was just starting to calm down a little bit. Because he gets like real bad anxiety when it gets pain. He doesn't do pain very well. And so then when we were getting ready to leave, they done a CT scan and stuff just to make sure there wasn't something else going on causing this pain beside the bone cancer stuff, because it just came on all of a sudden. But this nurse practitioner who was really sweet, she come in, okay, everything looked good. Said, we're pretty sure it's just the cancer. And she said, she's going to let us go home. I said, ma'am, is there any way you can give him another shot of the Dilaudid until I can get him to the house? She's like, oh, yeah. She said, in fact, I'll double it. Hey, Chris, you need to look into that. They've changed that law. My shoulder surgery, for instance, they couldn't get me in a month's time or whatever, and they sent me to a local orthopedic surgeon to do the surgery. You need to look into that. They will let you get treated by a local non-VA physician, or else they have to reimburse you for the mileage to go that far. You need to. There's a thing called a patient's advocate at the VA. Get a hold of them. My shoulder surgery was done in Anderson, Indiana, at the I can't remember the name of it, Saint something hospital or whatever, because they couldn't get me in a timely manner. Greg Wolf, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I didn't get to go to church yesterday, but fortunately it's online, and it's not the same. I mean, I put my earbuds in, so it kind of isolates me and I can focus in on it. But boy, I sure missed it. I ain't gonna lie. My church is good people. And my friend texted me to ask me if I was all right. The way they treat vets as a whole, like the homeless vets and stuff, but I can never complain. I've got nothing but excellent care from my VA physicians here in my area. You know what I'm saying? Even when I went to the one in Indianapolis, which is a pretty big VA hospital, I still got good care. And now I go to a little town, Marion, Indiana, and the care there is unbelievable. But like my colon stuff that almost killed me, they were unbelievable. I mean, I've had nothing but quality care from them, so I won't ever say anything bad about them. Now, there's been a few times I've had to uh, stand my ground on some things, and I'm one of them that I don't take no for an answer. So when I was in there with my colon, they wanted to move me into this different room for some reason. I forget why, but I walk in this room and there's a guy in there, and it smells like body odor and piss, like it hadn't. And I looked at her and said, "You think I'm not going to sit in this damn room? Are you kidding me?" She said, "Well, that's all we have right now." I said, "That's okay. I'll sit in this chair out here in the hallway." Dragging my little IV bottle and stuff around with me, and I sat down in that chair for 3 hours. The doctor come. "What are you doing?" I said, "Walk in that room, smell it. Would you sit in there?" He come back. He said, "Well, there's no way." I said, "Exactly. I'm not either. I'll sit in this chair and stay here." And about an hour later, I was in a different room. It just depends on how well or how much you're willing to stick to your guns, regardless of the what's the word I'm looking for? Percussion. Oh God, that's too early. Action and reaction. You got to be willing to accept whatever you've done. You got to be able to accept the consequences of that. That's what I'm trying to think of. The biggest thing I had a problem with was, and I was, because of the drug stuff, I was working with some group therapy and stuff at the VA doctor complex here in my hometown. And a lot of them young guys come back from Afghanistan, Iraq, places like that. They basically just started feeding them pills, instead of actually treating the problem. And they were creating these zombies, and they're starting to clean that up now. But it was like, I mean, I forget, there'll be guys tell you, "Yeah, I take 5 of these a day, I take 8 of them a day," and all they were doing was giving them pills, instead of trying to treat them. But like I said, I've got nothing but excellent care, so I will not say anything bad about them. Do they have issues? Sure, they do. It's a government run operation. Of course, they got issues. But the people that work there, in my opinion, and I'm talking the frontline people, nurses and stuff like that, most of them are great people. They're doing the best they can with what they have. Oh, I forgot. Show you what I got in the mail the other day. I ordered it for bluegill fishing because I got a bluegill rod with the spinning reel on it, but I'm just not a fan. It's too long. Dad got it for me, so I use it. But it's not for me for pan fishing. I want something that makes a panfish feel like a 50-pound blue. You know what I'm saying? So I got this in the mail the other day, and I'm going to put it on a small Eagle Claw, a yellow Eagle Claw. Well, it's not Eagle Claw. It's actually a Bass Pro Shop, but it's the same rod as the Eagle Claw rod that me and Mark were talking about a week or so ago. And I just thought it was cool as all get out. Let's see here. Oh. It's a mini bait caster. You can see how small it is. I don't know if the camera probably makes it look big, but it it's got the star drag thing, and it's the only one I found that had the little line guide thing. The other ones didn't have, the mini ones. Yeah, it's a little bitty guy, but ain't that cool? Oh, let me see. I ain't real good at the camera thing. There we go. There's one side of it, and then there's the front, and the other side. But that camera angle makes it look real big. You see how big it is when I put it in my hand. I got really small hands. But isn't that cool for bluegill fishing? I got some 4-pound test I'm gonna put on it. We'll see how well it works, when the time comes. It's almost like a copy. It's a copy basically of a big one. The other little ones I seen didn't have any. They just had a little drag adjustment on the side and no guide or anything for the line. And I'm thinking, well, what keeps the line from building up on one side or whatever? You know what I mean? And I looked around and finally found this one here. So that was my Christmas present to myself, all $22 of it. Yes, it's a cheap Chinese knockoff of something, but it's for bluegill. And I will be doing a fishing report with it this coming spring because I got a place I catch bluegill about every cast, so we'll be able to test it. Yeah, I thought it was cool. And they don't want you to really be able to read it, but the box even has the schematic. If you have the eyes of the $6 million man, you'd be able to read what is on there, because God knows I can't. It's a CL25 bait cast reel. It doesn't have a name on it, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, some Chinese name. Let's see if I can read it. It's a Ming Yang. It's the Ming Yang reel. How cool. I'm ready to go bluegill fishing now. I got myself all excited. But that's what I had ordered, that Eagle Claw rod from Walmart, which was the debacle with the hacks from Jersey who were going to take my order and let it sit there for God knows how long. Because it was supposed to be here yesterday, and it was still on the tracking thing you look at. It was still in the packaging stage. I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess it's not going to be here today. Oh. Sorry, guys, I missed your chat. I see it was a serious topic, but I lighten things up with my super mini reel. I'm a simple man. It doesn't take a whole lot to excite me. My little mini reel was one of them. It's a good find, man. It says a gear ratio 3-8-1, one-way clutch, anti-reverse bearings, chrome-plated brass frame, anodized aluminum slide plates, machined aluminum spool, smooth main gear, applied star drag drive system, dual centrifugal mechanical brake system. Oh, it's got a brake system in it even. Get out of here. Line capacity is 95 yards at 10 pound. Well, I would never put 10 pound on it. So, I mean, I use Stren 4 pound. It's all I've ever used for bluegill fishing. That stuff right there. That's all I ever use for bluegill fishing. I've never had a problem with it. I don't care what anybody says about whether it's good or not. I've used it for 20 some years and I love it. It's always worked for me. The only complaint I would have is it doesn't last long. As far as if you put it on in the spring, you're going to be changing it, by winter time, you're going to put new line on, if not sooner. But other than that, I like the color of it. It's kind of that purplish blue looking color. Chris, that's where that reel come through, was Temu. Actually, it's the first time I've ever done anything with them. But, I mean, it all went, the transaction all went smooth and stuff. And, that's one of them things ordering that. You know what you're getting. You're ordering some cheap Chinese thing that's, so if you know what you're getting, you're not disappointed anyhow. And I kind of browsed through their webpage, kind of interesting. Really, pin reels on Temu. I'd never messed with them before. I know Ernie Brown and them, sent me a thing about it one time. And I just blew it off because I didn't have money to buy anything anyway. But after all I've been through, I figured, you know what, dude, you're worth, you deserve $40 for a new bluegill rod and a little reel. So that's what I did. And now I can't wait for the rod to get here, because I'm not going to put line on the reel until I get the rod here, because it only seems appropriate to spool the reel on the rod you're going to use it with, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because I got one of them little things that clamps on the side of the workbench or whatever that, holds your spool reel and you reel it in or whatever. Which before I used to just kind of drop it in a bucket of water and crank it in, Yeah, sure. That's exactly right. You got to be selective on what that's why that reel, for instance, that the reel, actually, when I look at it and I joke about it being a cheap Chinese knockoff little bitty reel, but for what it is, it's actually pretty quality made, to be honest with you. I'll find out how it works when the time comes and I'll say something then, but it's better than I expected it would be. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I've heard great things about pin reels. I got the Abu Garcia 100th anniversaries last year or whatever, and someone posted in the live one morning that there was some site, Tackle Warehouse, I think it might have been, had them for $157 on clearance, and I ordered two of them. And everybody's got their preference about everything else, but quality wise, you can't beat them, I don't think. And there's different kinds of Abus now. There's some that aren't made in Sweden, so you got to be careful which ones you get. And if you look real close when you're ordering on the one side, it'll say made in Sweden on it. And that's what the 100th anniversary one is. No, Chris, that one for the e-bike for $28.98, that's not Temu, man. That's someone else that's got your information from them posing as them. Believe me, that's a huge rip-off site thing there. And so the only way, if you're gonna get something from Yemu or whatever, like I said, I've only had the one dealing with them. Go to their website. Don't click on a link from an email or whatever, because it's gonna be fake. And those people were quick. I canceled my Netflix, and an hour later, I get an email offering me Netflix for $1 a month for a year. And it all looked legit. And I'm thinking, it's just been an hour. Maybe they have, a system set up or whatever. It automatically does it, And I clicked on it, and about halfway through it, it dawned on me, and I went back to the email. And the way you can find out if they're legit or not is look at the address that it came from. You can tell right then whether it's from their website or whoever you're dealing with or someone else. And I went back and looked, and it was some funky email address that ended in .edu because they scammed onto some student's email name or something. Mitchell's, I remember those. What about anybody remember Johnson reels? Had kind of the fat face, you know what I mean? They were like the push button kind of reel, casting or whatever those reels are called. But those were always, those were big when I was a kid. The Johnson reel was, and then I can remember when Ugly Sticks came out. Man, they were like that was it for us. You know what I mean? And back then, this would have been what, in the late '70s, I think, thereabouts. And Dad had an Ugly Stick, medium heavy. It's probably 7 foot long or something thereabouts. But he closed the tip in the car door. And remember when he bought it, he said it had a lifetime guarantee, and he sent him a letter, and they sent him a letter back to him, sent it to him, and they sent him another rod. This would have been, when they first came out years and years and years ago. I'm sure they won't do that now, but I've always liked Ugly Sticks. I'd like to find. I looked for an Ugly Stick ultralight casting rod, but I just couldn't find one. Is Aaron come in? Did he? There he is. Hey, good morning, buddy. How are you? It's good to see you. You headed to work? You know what? I'm a nicotine addict, so I'm going to stop the cam while I have a cigarette. I know y'all won't mind. I wouldn't want to look at me that long. Hey, guys, if you're looking for a rod holder, for a bank rod holder, Aaron sells probably the best I've ever had. And I'm not sponsored by him, and he don't pay me or nothing. I'm just telling you, if you want quality, I like quality products. I'll even pay more for quality. But in my opinion, it's the best bank holder that I've found. Grey Wolf, I fell out of the ugly tree. So then I'm guessing, Grey Wolf, you got up and beat me with the branches that followed you down, didn't you? That's cool, Aaron. You just take your time getting them out there, buddy. Grey Wolf, you got one. They're awesome, aren't they? I'm telling you. I mean, if you want quality, they ain't fancy. It's just bare steel. But if you want quality, they're quality products. They're nice and bulky, and you can hammer them in if you have to. I got 2 of the guard dogs. I just haven't had a chance to use them yet because I haven't been able to go to like one of them all day, I'm going to go in the morning and fish till 9 or 10 at night type of things yet, which I did a couple years ago. And when I do that, then I'll use 3 rods. And because my left knee's bad, I always have trouble making it to the furthest rod away. When I'd get a hit, and I miss a bunch of fish all the time, so it's perfect for that. I actually can't wait to try it. I know you have everybody talk about, oh, you can't bend the rod and blah blah blah. You know what, man? I'm not a professional fisherman, and no more than decent rod cost, I don't care. It's a clever invention filling a need for someone like me who can't run to his fishing pole if you're using more than one pole. And so what if it's upside down and bent for 2 or 3 hours? I don't care. It's a fishing rod. But that I understand what people are saying. If you got a rod you paid $200 or $300 for, whatever, yeah, it's probably not for you. But if you're a guy like me, that's, I got an ugly 10-foot 2-piece ugly stick, the bronze one, catfish rod. Then I got a Tangling with Cats TWC rod that Mark turned me on to him, and it's a good rod, but it was still not that much. It didn't cost, it was $100 or something, I think. So I don't care. Those rods are fine, and I'll bend them with the guard dog thing. I mean, heck, when I was a kid, and I know now how stupid it was, but I would, hook my hook on the base of the eye or whatever, and then crank it up till the end was bent over, and it'd stay that way for 10 months, in the garage. Yeah, me neither, Hilly Billy. That's what I mean. Back when I was a kid, I'd done that. They talk about weakening the spine or whatever, and maybe it does. I don't know, but then again, I'm not out there catching 60 and 70-pound fish neither, so I can understand that aspect of it. But yeah, I was horrible about. My dad would always get mad at me about leaving my fishing rods bent like that. Because when I was a kid, I don't know, maybe 10, 11, 12 years old, in that range, maybe even starting about 9, but we could go across the field, cut behind these warehouses and through a cornfield, and there was this big creek that flowed back there, and we would literally pack a lunch, get up in the morning, and hike back there and stay all day fishing. And I mean, in the summertime, we done it pretty much every day in the summertime. I mean, you couldn't let your 9-year-old do that today, I don't suppose, but back then we did. Heck, we had a city bus driver that run the route by my house. He was an older guy, is real cool. He let us get on the bus with a 5-gallon bucket and a seine net to go seine for crawdads in White River downtown. Then he'd let us ride the bus back home with the bucket with about 15 or 20 crawfish in the bottom of it, and the net smelling like White River. And then the next day we'd have them for bait. And I don't know if anyone, you ever hunt night crawlers in your yard? Anybody ever do that? We would take a water hose and drown the front yard in the afternoon just before dark and just soak it, and then come back out when it got dark with a flashlight, and the night crawlers would come up to the top naturally, and we would, catch night crawlers. But I remember them being real fast. You had to be pretty quick to get them. And then if a certain amount of their body got back down in the hole, you might as well let go, because you were going to rip him in half if you didn't. And I don't care what anyone says, that sure beat playing a video game as a kid any day. Yep, we'd go out after the rain too, but if there wasn't no rain and it was August, we was getting us some night crawlers for sure. And we actually at one time tried to start a worm thing like Hogleg has now, but we as kids we didn't know. We just put some dirt in a box, you know. Just so everybody knows, the link thing should be pinned up there if anybody wants to come up and play chat reader or whatever, because I know I miss stuff. Yeah, I agree, Aaron. I agree with you 100%, man. They work great, and for a guy like, and the other part is if I do a super late night fishing thing, gig, don't be laughing. It's a worm farm, exactly. But I was a kid then, and I didn't really care if they died. Like the hog cracks me up. They're his babies. Hey, Stephen Corley, how are you, buddy? Yeah, Hogs Worm Farm is awesome. I just wish he would do a live and go take us out there with him and see it. Oh, I remember the big one was they built a Kmart across the road, kind of close to where we fished at. And back then they had like the little diner thing in the back of the Kmart. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but you could buy a big old bag of popcorn for a quarter. It was like 3 foot high or something. And one of us would always walk over and get a bag of popcorn. 6:12 a.m. Huh. Let me go get my next Red Bull and I'll turn my can back on. You're okay, Max. Stay right there, buddy. Bam. This next hour is brought to you by Red Bull. Not sponsored by them, but should be. I'm sure I paid the electric bill in one of their warehouses or something. Oh, goodness. I made ribs yesterday, and they were awesome. I needed them. Dad even got up and ate some, which he ain't ate much the last couple of days. And then with him getting up and down all evening yesterday evening, I had to wait for him to go to bed before I could go get Red Bull for this morning. So I was down at the gas station like midnight last night. Red Bull does give you wings. Yep, Grey Wolf playing with him, dirt pile, making uh, racetracks and run them around in the dirt. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why there's so many sick people these days. Kids don't get out and play in the dirt no more, man. You got to get some dirt in you to build up your immunity to everything. Oh, man. Remember the big Tonka truck, the dump truck's about like that big? It was virtually indestructible. You only had to have one in your whole lifetime as a kid. You could ride on it, you could do anything with it. Yeah, I think they probably make them out of plastic now. I don't know. Yep, the big steel ones, man. I'm telling you, it was a quality product. I remember the dump truck more than anything because we would actually ride on it down the. My neighbor had kind of a hill on their driveway, and we would ride it down the driveway. Yeah, exactly. Everything's plastic and cheap. Nothing's made to last anymore. And where I come from, uh, my town was a factory town, right? So you had all kinds of side industries that supported the factories, bearing shops, belt shops, and stuff like this, welding supply shops and stuff. And when the factories went, well, naturally, all of them are gone now. I mean, back then, if you had something and it broke, washing machine, whatever, you fixed it. You always do. For one, I had a friend, my dad's friend was a machinist. He worked at Chevrolet as a machinist, and then he had a little machine shop on the side on the weekends. And he'd get mad if you do something. Like, don't throw it away. You fix those. I can figure bring it in here. Exactly, Chris. The big yellow dump truck, man. I'm telling you, it should be in the Hall of Fame of toys as the toughest toy ever invented. Yep, I agree, Grey Wolf. You should eat a peck of dirt before you die. And if you put your kids out there and let it, well, I don't know about today. It's hard telling what's in the dirt today, but heck, what am I talking about? I grew up in a factory town that contaminated the rivers. The same rivers we send for crawdads in. Well, hi, Shirley T. Good morning. I had me and mom, she's had this cast iron skillet forever, and I forget what I cooked in it a while back. But she put it in the sink and washed it with soap and water. I'm like, we ain't supposed to do that. She said, well, I always have. I don't care what they say. I'm like, okay. How are you today, Miss Shirley? It's good to see you stop in. Wasn't sure I was going to be here, but we made it. And it's only 6:17. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, DuPont, there's between Madison and Cincinnati, there's a lot of plants on the Ohio River that are like chemical plants like that, serious chemical stuff. I don't know why they have to build them on the river. Maybe it's for cooling, to pump cool water in or something. I don't know, but it seems like they're all on the river. I can remember it was probably 69 or 70 thereabout. Between Madison and Cincinnati, they were talking about building a nuclear power plant, and they were actually started building it, and all the land along the rivers all of a sudden come up for sale cheap, and then after 3 Mile Island or whatever, they changed the plan on what they were going to build. I think they ended up putting a coal power plant in or whatever. But all those people who sold that land, like, oh man, probably should have waited. Thank you, dog. Thank you. Uh, but yeah, I sure wish I'd had, or I was a kid, it wouldn't have mattered. But man, if I'd had money, I'd have bought some of that land. Because as we talked about earlier, God only made so much. Yeah, hillbilly. That's what I was afraid of too. They build them to dump stuff in the rivers. Well, see, we had Delco Remy in the town next to me in Anderson, Indiana. Huge Delco plant made the electronics for cars and stuff, radios and all kinds of stuff. And it was a huge place. I forget it. The fact that factory was a few miles long, and about 20 years ago or so, at a fish kill in White River, downriver from them, they ended up tracking it back to something had leaked at the factory because they had cracked down on the factories in the late 70s, early 80s because they pretty much killed our rivers. Hey, good morning, Fishing Fever. but they tracked it back to that they proved it came from the factory in Anderson, and big huge find. But then they had to restock. I forget, about 16 or 17 miles of river. They had to clean and restock, and for probably 10 years, the DNR had signs up that, for it was a good smallmouth river, and it had signs up to, please catch and release until further notice because we're trying to replenish the river again. And fortunately, most of the people adhered to it, and it's a good smallmouth river again. Still wool and soap and water, I suppose, would be a good way to clean it. I don't know much about seasoning. Like I said, Mom ended up telling me she's washed hers in soap and water forever, and then she would wash it in soap and water, put it on the stove, turn the heat on, and let it dry that way, and then put oil on it. Looks like my update got finished. Yeah, Walmart sent me the third text that said they canceled my order, which I already knew about yesterday. See what kind of damage the software update did. Okay, good enough. Let me pull my YouTube back up so I can control whatever it was I was doing. I forget now. Bear with me. I'm doing the best I can. There we go. And that works okay as long as you remember to turn the volume down on the phone, right? Mercury. Yeah, that's, they still say today that, hey, Wabash Nate, how's it going, buddy? That, you can only eat X amount of fish out of the rivers around here because of the mercury poisoning, which I ain't eating no fish out. I can't do that. Put that down like this. Wait, I know what I can do. Oh, there we go. That'll work. The only place I eat fish out of, or like where we go bluegill fishing at, they're spring-fed lakes or ponds, strip pits, southern Indiana, southwest Indiana, and we get bluegill out of there, and that's about the only place I eat any fish out of, just because of that. Chadwick, good morning. I suppose you're on your way to work, are you? Yep, still will remove the rest. And avocado oil, interesting. But I don't know a lot about the cast iron skillet and the seasoning. I hear a lot about it. I know Ernie Brown and them know a lot about it. You've been working over an hour already? Are you kidding me? What time is it now? Jeez, ooh. Chad, you need to hit the lottery, buddy. You work too hard. 6:24, man. Tis the season. That's true. Yeah, hillbilly. I don't. Like I said, well, and there's a couple lakes that I know of, small lakes that I'll eat fish out of, but I won't eat anything out of a river. Nothing. I don't know if it's psychological or what, but it don't taste the same to me for some reason. I think it's more in my head than anything. I did post a thing. Oh, I know why nobody comes up, because I booted Avid and the other guy the other week. Only done that because I was trying to ask a question about John, and I couldn't get him to stop, and I muted him 3 times, and they kept unmuting. So the only thing I knew to do was to boot him out so I could ask the questions I needed to know if anybody had heard from John Parker or not. So that's why I booted the people out of my live the other day, or whenever it was. Oh, you guys, you got people on strike, do you, Chad? Are you management? That's got to be a tough spot to be in right there for sure, man. Yeah, I loved overtime when I was young, Chris. I worked at the cable company when fiber optics was coming out and was being just come. It just came out, and they had to rebuild all the cable systems for the fiber optic backbone. And because they were doing that when they were rebuilding ours, we actually had 2 systems running at the same time. The new one in some areas and the old one in other areas, because they built what are called nodes, but they built a node at a time and would fire it up and then start on the next one. It went on for about 3 years, I think. And during that time, I was a system technician, climbed poles and worked on the main lines and the amps and stuff. Oh, your salary. Oh, that's really bad. But in that 3 to 5 year time span, not counting trying to go to school, cable school stuff, so I could, keep going higher or whatever. But I averaged over 300 hours a year overtime. And I think one year I had like 387 hours overtime. The end of year check stub you'd get, and it'd say year to date hours or whatever. I used to have them in my filing cabinet thing for a long time when people would tell me I was BS. And I was like, here, hold on, I'll show you the check stub. And that's probably what cost me my marriage, to be honest with you. But we had a nice house, nice cars, and me and the kids raced dirt bikes. Somebody had to pay that. Yeah, Chad, that's tough. I had a salary job one time, and I promised myself never again. But I started working for myself in '99, I think it was, from home. And so when I got divorced, I was a single dad, and I had to have something I could do and still be, there for my son. And I definitely couldn't do cable with those kind of hours. So my brother was a real estate appraiser, and he got me into it, where I'd be able to work from home and kind of call my own hours, and then I wouldn't have to miss any sporting events or important school stuff like that, and just life stuff, I guess, to be with your kids. 'Cause they're only kids for a short time, man, and you only get one shot at that. And hopefully they turn out okay if you spend enough time and devote, enough attention to them. That's all a kid wants. They don't care how much freaking money you make. Chad, the worst part is I haven't heard anything about that strike on the news, and y'all aren't that far from me. That's the part I don't get. What union is it? Is it UAW union or Terry B? Good morning, Terry. How are you? And I'm seeing unions make a comeback now. The factory type unions. I mean, my buddy's a journeyman electrician, works out of the hall, and I got some friends that work for the Iron Workers Union and union welders and stuff. Good morning, Chrissy Brown. It's good to see you, honey. How are you feeling? And the skilled trades unions are good unions, and they're good to have if you're building something important. Where the UAW basically, that part of their workforce was someone that you come in and stuck in front. This was before the automation we have today, but with computers and stuff. But you know, unless it was the repairman and stuff like that, they really weren't skilled trades. Teamsters Union, yeah. Okay, yeah, man, Chad, brother, I'm so sorry. It's interesting. Nobody's heard anything about that strike, though, isn't it? That should be in the news for sure. I forgot where I was at because I haven't had a lot of sleep. If the vape smoke offends you, I'm sorry. Go somewhere else. It's just that kind of day for me. And I know that's no way to build a channel, but I ain't trying to build a channel. I just want to go fishing and hang out with people that I already know, anyhow. Oh, Uncle Lou, good morning, buddy. I seen you up there late last night on the Jody fishing thing, I think it was. Good, Chrissy. I'm glad you're feeling better, honey. How's Ernie's knee getting better? I talked to him about the range of motion the other day, and he said it was real good. Yeah, Chris, I suppose it is. Oh, okay. I would have never seen it if it was on CNN. I'm, I'm kidding. I don't watch any of the national news anymore like that. I'm over it. Did he really? Nice. The biggest thing for me was when I had my knee replacement was getting over the psychological aspect of I'm afraid I'm going to hurt something. And the doctor tell you can't hurt that thing at all. You just got to make it work and start walking. Oh, okay, yeah, Chad, I understand. But that first week or so after getting it done, man, the taking steps was, it's naturally it's still swelled up. It's got this big long line of staples, and you're like, man, I don't want to do anything to mess this up. Where I don't know about Ernie's, but when I had mine done, they had me up that afternoon. The surgery was that morning, and that afternoon, early evening, I guess, they had me up out of bed. And I had to laugh. I had a nerve block or whatever, basically like an epidural, and so it didn't hurt at all for the first 24 hours. And they take me down to therapy, that evening and that morning, and it's still numb. It don't hurt. And I'm like, well, this ain't too bad. I can bend it and everything. Man, after that thing wore off, I'm telling you, I'd have thought I was going to die. I'd go into therapy. I'm like, don't touch it. Don't bend it. My God, it hurts so bad. And that lady was teaching, well, you was doing okay yesterday. I'm like, yeah, it didn't hurt then. And the bad part was I was an active addict at the time by the time I had my knee done, because it was the last one. And I didn't want to tell them, so they're giving me pain medication for the average person and can't figure out why it's not working. But I didn't want to tell them I was addicted to opioids because they would have put it in my record and they would have never prescribed me any. That's the twisted thinking process of a drug addict right there. But so instead, I laid there in agony for 4 days or whatever. Uncle Lou, you weren't here. I got to show you that little reel. I had it out a little bit ago. It's actually pretty nice. Let me get it back out. Me and Uncle Lou were talking about these a week or two ago. And yes, I know it's a cheap Chinese knockoff or whatever, but I don't care. Check this out, Lou. Oh, we're wrong way. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Little mini cast reel. I mean, it's as small around as. I see now how hard that is. Now I understand. But yeah, isn't that cool? I think it's neat anyhow. I don't care what nobody says. Billet aluminum spool, which besides carbon fiber billet aluminum's the next coolest thing you could put on a dirt bike. I'm reeling. A little star drag that seems to work pretty decent. We'll get her out there and get a big bluegill on there and see what happens. What's up, Doc? Here we go. I gotta get my big rods out of the truck, I reckon, and bring them in the house because it's getting cold. And can't really do any fishing right now, so I reckon I need to get them in and clean them and stuff like that and back the drag off. I know I didn't back the drag off when I left the last time. And I think you're supposed to do that, ain't you? Oh, there's why. Yeah, that's what this one is the Yang Ming or Ming Yang. I showed that last time. Hold on. Yep, it's the same one, isn't it? In the ad thing, they had a blue one, but I couldn't find it on the thing to order it. Oh, there we go. Ming Yang CL25, baby. Heck yeah. A little low profile. Yep. Okay, what? That doesn't control the drag. What's this? There we go. Interesting. Huh. But yeah, I thought it would be neat just to be, just it's different. But yeah, it's the same one. Do you have one then? All right, cool. Yeah, they're actually better made than I thought it was going to be. It's almost like a little Abu, just a baby Abu. It'll grow up one of these days and be a 6,000. Yeah, I'm like a kid, man. It don't take much to make me happy. And the best part, it was only like $20, so I figured for $20, if it didn't work, it'd still look cool sitting on my shelf by my desk or whatever. You know what I mean? So either way it goes, it will be used for something. But I can't wait to hook a big bluegill on it and see what happens. Which I can probably do that even still. I talked to Sonny, the pond where the bluegill I catch came from the other week. He said didn't have any ice on it or anything yet. Stan, I don't think I seen you come in, buddy. Good morning. Ah, okay. Uncle Lou, I see. I didn't see any low profiles. No, I see, and I didn't want the low profile kind. I was looking for a mini bait caster that looks like a big bait caster. I mean, sometimes you order stuff and you're disappointed or whatever, but this time here, man, I actually was kind of stoked that what I got I was actually a little better quality than what I thought I was going to get. You know what I mean? Oh goodness gracious! I got 4 hours of sleep last night, man. Yeah. The night, and I don't know why I didn't think of it. The night before, I literally got up every hour and gave Dad the little squirt of morphine stuff. And last night I thought stay up till midnight because he gets his pain pills every 4 hours. So I stayed up till midnight, gave him his pain pills and the squirt because he was asleep. I had to wake him up, and I thought, well, if he's sleeping 4 hours ain't nothing, so I'll just get up at 4 o'clock and give him his pain medicine again, and so far it's worked out good, but he ain't got out of bed yet. And I don't know why, and dementia is a strange thing, especially in the early stages, because he's sitting there last night and he got up to eat ribs, which I was amazed that because he hadn't ate a whole lot in the last 3 or 4 days, but and he was perfectly fine. And I'd say 20 minutes later or so, just sitting there talking off the wall stuff almost to himself. Or I walked up to bring him some ice water or something, and he said, "Did you get that money? Did you find that money?" And knowing after going through it with grandma, I just played along. Said, "Yeah, Pop, I found that. I put it up. Don't worry about it." You know what I mean? And he just started talking about, getting part. Did so and so come by and get them car parts yet? And things like that. And Mom tries to talk to him normal, and I'm like, Mom, he's not. That's not. He's not even here right now. Just play along with whatever he talks about. Thank Chris. It don't you know what, brother? I don't. The thumbs up thing don't matter. To be honest with you, I don't. Like I said, someone told me, but I don't even. I couldn't even tell you how many subscribers I have. Not a clue. Because it don't. I'm just. I don't know. I like just hanging out with people. This catfish community is full of a lot of really, really good human beings, man. It's 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 a good thing, and there's a lot of good intentioned people here with good hearts that legitimately care about other people. And when you find a group of people like that in today's day and age, you're blessed, man. I mean, hi Ernie, how are you, buddy? Chrissy told me that you got to take a step or so without that walker yesterday. That's big stuff right there, brother. You'll be walking on rocky banks with Danny Stone here before long. But anyway, like I said, it ain't about subscribers or nothing. It's just that I have, and well, I should say the dirt bike community is kind of the same, but I never had an internet thing like this with them. It was all people you seen every week at the races, that you never really seen anywhere else. Be careful saying good people. Well, dude, don't get me wrong. There are some people that suck too, but I just usually let them, kind of like a duck does with water on its back. It just rolls right on past me. 18-month cancer scan. Oh, okay. It's been 18 months since your last one. Stan, I'll be praying for you, brother, and please let us know what you find out when they get it done. I'll pray that it's nothing but good. Yeah, Chris, dementia is horrible. It's tough. I went through it with grandma. She was in her late 90s, though, and it started getting real bad, but it was the same time COVID hit, so I couldn't put her in a nursing home. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a tough year right there. Oh, okay, Stan. I didn't know anything about that, brother. All right. So the scan will tell you that I'm assuming the kidney had the cancer. They took it out and they're going to see if there's been any new growth of cancer, something like that. I had to laugh, and I should not laugh. I mean, but it was kind of funny when I took Dad to the hospital Thursday. They gave him 2 shots of Demerol. One when we was in there after about an hour or so, and then one just before we left. And he starts hurting real bad. I think it was Saturday night. What's the name? Monday? Yeah, Saturday night sounds about right. But he said, I want to go to the hospital. He said, we need to go to the hospital. I'm like, Pop, they've done the CT scan and everything, and they've confirmed that it was your cancer that's causing the pain. Yeah, but whatever they gave me that night, it's the only thing I've had yet that made me feel all right. So he wanted to go to the hospital to get another shot of Demerol. I'm like, yeah, Dad, you and a million other people would love to do that. I was like, I'd love to have a shot of Demerol. I've never had it before, but I know it'll definitely kill all the pain in your body for a while. Because with my left knee, man, I live in pain all the time, but I'm just, you know, from racing dirt bikes and stuff, you always had something that hurt. So you just kind of masochistic, I guess, but you just get used to hurting. It never bothered me when I was racing. That's all I know. You forget about it real quick when the adrenaline kicks in. Dog. Dave B. I'm missing something. Oh, there. Yeah, I talked to Dave earlier, I think. Pretty sure. Yep, it looks like right now it's going to be day number 2 of rain and gray skies. Hey, Apache, how are you, buddy? It's good to see you this morning. Be careful driving, man. Yeah, I like to have a gallon of it. Yeah, I'm with you, Ernie. I laugh right now, Ernie. I was talking about it earlier. I got 2 bottles about that big of liquid morphine up here in the cabinet. I give Dad a 0.5 milligram every hour. That's what they gave him, Lou. Dilaudid. Yeah, Thursday. They gave him 0.5 milligram, I think it was, after they, had done all their tests and stuff while they were waiting on the results for the CT scan because they knew he had cancer. And they gave him one, it's like 0.5 milligram, I think it was. Well, it no sooner started to take effect pretty decent where he wasn't, kind of moving around and hurting real bad. And I shit you not, it was not 5 minutes later, the guy rolled in with the x-ray machine and moved his body all around to get the x-rays, and the pain was just right back again. And he when the nurse come in, because they done the CT scan, confirmed that yes, it's just the cancer causing this. There's not anything else going on. And the nurse come in. I was telling them about it. You may not have been here, but they the nurse was going to let him go. Lou, I asked her, hey, can you give him another shot of that? And I asked her after she gave it to him first time what it was. And I said, because I got to drive him home. It's about 30 minutes home. I said, and that'll help get him there. When I get him home, I can get him on the regular medicine. And she said, yeah, you know what? In fact, I'll double it, she said. And she came in and hit him with full milligram of Dilaudid. And he still hurt, actually, some, but it was much better. It got him home. So, yeah, that Dilaudid's good stuff. My favorite dirt bike, Chris, okay, I had an 85 CR250 that was the fastest dirt bike I ever had. That was the pinnacle of the Honda era back then, the mid 80s. My funnest dirt bike I ever had an 87 XR250 that I raced in the woods for 6 years. Little 4-stroke, funnest bike I ever had. The best woods bike I ever had was a 96 KTM 250 EXC. It made me a better rider. Only bike I ever had in my life that done that. But my all-time, bar none, favorite dirt bike has always been the little XR 250 because it never stranded me in the woods and it always made it back to the truck. And if you changed the oil, it would still be running today. In my humble opinion on dirt bike lore. Hold on, I gotta catch back up here, guys. They gave me fentanyl in the emergency room, and I was so paranoid about. Oh wait, about them trying to overdose you and kill you. Yeah, Chrissy, Dad's got a 0.5 milligram fentanyl patch on his back of his shoulder too. I gotta change that every 3 days. Okay, hillbilly. Yeah, if someone does a live later day and you happen to see it, jump up there and let us all know, okay, hillbilly? I'm not that close with him that I have his phone number or nothing. In fact, I don't have hardly anybody's phone number, just a few people. But they're important to me, so that's all that matters. Could you imagine being our age like me? I'm 60 and getting hit like that? There ain't no way, man. I'd be in the hospital for 6 months. Chris, I've had everything, but I've never had a KX because we had an affliction to green dirt bikes. We wouldn't let them in the trailer. No, I'm kidding. I had a KDX, but not a KX. Yeah, the 100 was cool. Where's Curtis at? I missed him. Let me back up. Where did I see him at? Lou, where you see Curtis at? Oh well, anyway, hey Curtis, how you doing, buddy? Where's Eric at? Is he driving today? Oh no, he's still in the trying to get all that worked out, isn't he? I forgot about that. Okay, yeah. So him and Lou must be texting in the background, making fun of me. Because they're good about making fun of me between Lou and Curtis and J Dog. They'll be dogging me out and not letting me know they're doing it. I see how they are, though. I got something for them. No, they're good people. Erupt Mini Bike, I remember them, Stan, to be honest with you. I certainly do. Oh my God, well, you decided to wake up today? John Gig was here before I even become live. I see where I rank in your status of human beings that you can't get up early and start the show with me. Yeah, I thought you liked me, man. Good morning, John. It's good to see you, buddy. You guys got enough wind and rain there yet? Ah, yeah, I'm messing with you, Lou. You know that. Uh-oh. You ever get ringing in your ear? I'm telling you what I just done there where you put your hand over your ears and you tap your fingers on the back of your head. It'll go away instantly. Guarantee it. Yeah, I seen on the news you guys were kind of getting hammered, it looked like, John. Got any standing water and stuff? You're probably going to have to open the garage and let those hogs in there so they got somewhere to stay till you feed them. Chrissy, I'm telling you, it works. Some lady at the school told me that. Usually I have to take my hat off, though, but you just go like this and, and you drum your fingers on the back of your head and it stops. I swear by it. Don't ask me how or why it works, but it does. So the next time you get a ringing ear, Chrissy, if it works, let me know that I'm not crazy. Because it could just be, some psychological thing that makes it do it for me. Oh, the chickens are flooded. You're going to have to let them in the house, man. You're going fishing day gig? How's the wind? I missed 922, didn't I? It goes too fast for me. Try to back it up a little bit. I'm stiff today. Let's see here. There we go. Hey, 922, how are you? I talked to you last night, didn't I? Was it on Jody's live last night or Lance's? I can't remember. I know Jody and them came on later. The John guy from River, what is it? River Cats Tackle, whatever. I'm telling you what, man, that guy's a jewel. He is. He's a jewel of a human being. But if he ever calls you, be prepared. You're going to be on the phone for a little while. I had laughed the 2 times he's called me. I was headed fishing. I didn't say catching, I said fishing, but at least I was out there. But he's a jewel of a human being, man. And I guess he's going to be at CatCon with Ancient Mariner in a booth in February. And I'm praying to God to please let me be able to come down for Saturday. That's all I want. I don't ask for much, I accept the deck I've been handed, and I don't ask for much for myself ever when I pray. But that's one that's like, man, God, if I did one day out of the year, man, please let everything go right so I can come down to CatCon. The first year I planned, I had the hotel room and everything already booked and paid for and was going to come down for the 2 days, but something happened, I forget, with Pop. I ended up not being able to. What kind of slurping's that? Slobbing that knob, Uncle Lou? Well, I'm getting free shit, brother. You got to slob a little bit. You can get some slurping too if you ever sent me anything, but you ain't never sent me. Well, I take that back. I apologize. You sent me a fishing tackle when I first met you, when I first come in, so I apologize. That was wrong. But the first year, so I had to cancel. And actually, that year was the first year of the gathering down Tennessee, and I had the camp spot reserved right across the little road from where Big Mike was camped at. And I don't know what happened. I didn't get a refund or nothing because it was too late, but I just didn't. I ended up not using it. Between him and you, an hour. Yep, that's about what it was with me. Yeah, crappie. It was about an hour. But then I don't. I don't know how long it'll be before I ever get to come down for that one, which I think that one would have just been, well, for one, I would have got to meet Kenny in person uh, before he passed away. But that one hurt not getting to go to it the first year because I had the camp spot and everything. I was stoked. And I'd have caught the biggest fish that week. I mean, that's a given. 7 a.m. alarm went off. I don't know how many alarms I got set throughout the day to remind me of stuff. Yeah, Chrissy, me too. Well, I seen a house. In fact, I got to see what the due date on that is. It may be today. And I seen a house. I went and seen it. Went and picked Dad's medicine up and come back one day this week. It might have been Thursday before we ended up going to the hospital. So I got that appraisal I need to try and get done. Then I've got one I got set. I got to set and go see, but the people didn't call me back yet. Because even though I still take care of that, I still got to make a little bit of money. That's it, Chrissy, right there. That's what the 7 a.m. one's for, my medicine. Good thing you said that. Hold on, I'll be right back. I knew it didn't have a label on it and it went off, and I knew it was for something, but I couldn't remember what. So I'll be back. Oh, goodness. So now I got to go back in and put a name on that 7 o'clock one. Hey, Mike, good morning, buddy. You headed to work, are you? I have the can back on direct. I got to fulfill my nicotine addiction. Hey, John, Gig said he's headed out today. Or how far away from him are you? Surely he ain't going out there in the wind, I wouldn't think. Yep, one of these years I'll get to go down and let uh, Mikey teach me how to bump. He's about 2 hours south. Okay. Because I got to thinking about that bumping thing, and they were talking about one time, and you're actually, you're holding your rod. You're holding your rod. Okay, that sounded good. I was waiting for one of you. I know that's coming. But anyway, I'm holding my rod, but you actually holding it and feel when the fish hits it the first time. So I suppose that is pretty decent. 6 foot of grass at the rim. Is the wind blowing, Gig? I mean, are you okay going out there today, brother? You be safe, all right? Yeah, I suppose that sometimes fishing for a living it wouldn't be what it's all cracked up to be when you can't go out there on a calm 70-degree day. Because I have a rule, I only fish when it's exactly 70 degrees out. So I only get to fish every so often. And if the wind's blowing, then it cuts it down that much more to how many days a year. Hey, good morning, Danny Stone. How are you, buddy? Be safe driving to work. Yeah, John, you guys will definitely freeze to death at 46. They'll find you sitting stiff and frozen at your table. We'll have a memorial for you, don't worry. After we get done laughing because you laugh at us when it's cold here. So heck, I think it's in the 40s here right now, or it was yesterday evening. Let's see. Never mind, it's 34 now. It was 40 something when I went to the gas station last night at midnight. I'll have my smiling face back up on there in a minute. I'm having me a cigarette because I deserve it. I need to learn how to put a picture on that right there, don't I? Maybe I'll put a picture of little guy up there. He wasn't happy when I got up at 4 this morning, a little after 4. He stayed in bed while I was in giving Dad his medicine and everything, thinking that I was going to come back and get back in bed. And I come in and started putting clothes on. And he was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. So now he's laying on the love seat with just his head stuck under the blanket. I'm probably in the doghouse with him the rest of the day, I imagine. Picture, John, by golly, I think you're right. If I was to put your picture on there, I'm sure I would get plenty of bad comments in the comment section during the week. I know that guy. He's an a-hole. Don't go fishing with him. I wear the a-hole badge as a badge of pride myself. Yeah, I need you to bring the ladies in. I need somebody to bring the ladies in. Who am I kidding, man? I don't even have time to have a relationship right now. I guess I just have to hire professionals for companionship right now, I reckon. Yeah, I say that if I can't go to church, I watch our church service on YouTube, and I always put that. Hit the thumbs up; it'll spread the name of our church throughout the worldwide. Chris, my mom eats cold pizza, and I can't even figure out how you begin to do that. There is no way. And I've watched my mom do it my whole life, and I'm like, nope. And I don't even heat mine in the microwave. I turn on the oven and heat it in the oven. Cold pizza and Pepsi. Oh, gosh. Fried pizza. Huh. That's interesting, honey. Do you flip it like an egg? Make it crispy on the cheese side, too? Not me. I would stick it in my mouth, take a few chews, and throw up. Is what I would do, Chrissy. There ain't no way I couldn't do it. You fry it. I'm gonna have to look into that, Ernie. That and make it kind of crispy on both sides. That might work. Just the slightest bit of oil in the bottom of the pan to help brown it. Huh. I like that. Oh man. Yeah, toaster oven would be cool, Chris. If I had one of them, I'd do that. Or I guess maybe one of them air fryers. That's probably the best way to do it right now. Yeah, Chrissy, but I'd rather have a heart attack eating what I like than be alive eating something that I didn't like vegetables. Grilled cheese pizza sauce. That sounds pretty cool. I know we went through a phase when I was a kid, me and my brother, that we would make, like a piece of bread with pizza sauce on it, pepperonis and cheese, and put it in the oven. Fried green beans. Now, I've seen them, I think, like battered and deep fried too, Ernie. I like I like the fresh green beans. I missed getting any this year. Come think of it, I like to sit and break beans. That brings back memories when I was a kid, sitting and breaking beans. Or string beans, you'd have to string them first and then break them. And I never figured out why you grow string beans if you had to string them. But I'm sure there was a reason. Deep fried Oreos. See, I'm not a fan of the Oreo, so I don't know if I'd like that or not. I'm not an Oreo guy. It's a bird's nest, yep. Oh man. Oh shoot, what time is it? Let me see. I might have forgot something. Yeah, he'll be okay till 8 o'clock. I don't want to wake him up again that soon. Churros. What's a churro? Good morning, Mr. Mike Moreau. How are you today, buddy? It's good to see you. Hold on, I gotta look at the whiteboard and see when he gets his pain pills again. I'll be right back. Okay, he doesn't get his pain pill again until 8. That'll be about the time I end this. Cinnamon and sugar delight. Okay. Well, ask a dumb question. No, he's going to have you bring it to him. I would. Fried pork skins. Okay. We call them pork skins around here, or pork rinds. Jeez, ooh. Let's see here. There we go. That's better. That's better. Is the sun up there already, John? Say it's. I don't think the horizon's not even lit up here, but then again, it won't light up if it's cloudy and rainy like it looks like out there. It won't light up for a while. Killing me, Smalls. Yeah, I hate wintertime for that. It gets dark early and gets daylight late, man. It kills me. Terry B. Good morning, Mr. Terry B. In case I missed you when you came in, because I don't remember. I'll have to go back and watch that. I think I missed it. Let's see here. I need to make a bunch of people mods, but I have to do that on my phone, don't I? I didn't even realize that. Heck yeah, I'm ready for it to start getting longer, man. Anytime that'll work for me. I think that's everybody. Wait, maybe not. One more. There we go. That should be everybody. Where you at, dog? There you are. Oh, dagnabbit. There we go. I think I got just about everybody now, don't I? Nope. Terry B. Yeah, he's got a wrench. Oh, okay. It doesn't show it on that one. That's why. Super fantastic time. Oh, it's super fantastic. Oh, great, Marcia. I'm glad. Oh no, man, you all ain't got to thank me. I'm just it doesn't show it on the chat on StreamYard, and I didn't know, and I looked over at my phone and seen it. Cause I am kind of new at all this stuff right here. Hey, Kate, how are you? It's good to see you this morning. I was wondering if I was going to see you again. Are you headed to work this morning? If so, please be safe. I would say I'm getting ready for work, but I'm already there. That's the best part about working for yourself at home, man. You can do it in any type of attire you want. And I do take advantage of this. At least I got pants on this morning. Yeah, Kate, I've been doing it since 1999, actually. I started at my brother's in 99, then I started working at my house in 2000. John, I hope it rains for a week solid where you're at just because you make fun of all these working people. No, I'm kidding. That's pure jealousy talking right there, John. Don't let anybody kid you, man. I wish I had planned like that. What you got to do to it, Terry? You know, I used to love to fix my vehicles. I don't, not so much anymore, but until I had to move back here, I always had a. I'm a real estate appraiser, Kate. It's not really a business. It's an LLC. I work for myself, and so it's hard to explain how it all works. But lenders or appraisal management companies keep a list or a bank of appraisers, and when an appraisal request comes in, it's on a rotation type basis, and they send the email out and ask if you want it or not. And I won't lie, I'm blessed to have what I have. This job is I'm very blessed, and I've taken it for granted a lot in my life, and I shouldn't. But if God hadn't blessed me with this job that I do now, I would not be able to care for my parents, which means I would have had to put them in a nursing home by now. And my goal is to not have to do that if I can at all possible. Rough in reverse while backing. Oh, you're getting into transmissions, dude. I got nothing. Sorry, that's the one. I was appraising a guy's house one time, and he had a 4-bay garage, and he worked on cars. He was a mechanic at like a Chevrolet dealership or whatever, but he worked on them on the side of the home. And he had this big long workbench, and he had an automatic transmission laid out on it that he was fixing. I seen all them parts and knew right then that I had no business whatsoever trying to ever fix a transmission. A prudent man knows his limitations, and that's I don't know nothing. There's no way. You know, John, that's just horrible too. That you know, having to be a caregiver, I know how hard it is, and the fact you do have relations that don't help you is just the term a hole is dead spot on because it's not easy. It's very stressful, and there are times you get frustrated, but you don't want to say the wrong things because it's not their fault, you know. And yeah, I fixed my transmission for me. Yeah, his house worth a little bit more, but I got free transmission work for life. 7 years. Well, he's a quality human being there, ain't he, John? I I wish my brother were alive to help me. To be honest with you, for one, he had a big house out in the country in over in North Indianapolis when he was alive, and I think he even had a maid come in a couple times a week or something. I don't remember. They were doing real well, and, so it would be more than likely mom and dad would be living there, and I would still be living where I did, and I would come over there, and we would probably switch off every 2 days or something. I'd imagine. I don't know, but it would sure be a lot easier. I like that. That one's the best, John. She swears she's never been married or had kids. So, I'm just a nice guy and I like to help old people out, ma'am. So I'm going to let you live at my house and feed you. Hey, all right, Danny Stone. Be careful today, brother. Don't work too hard. I know you've been having some issues with it. Did I not get you one, Chris? Yeah, I did.
Huh?
I'm talking on my YouTube thing
Oh.
this morning.
Oh,
You're all right.
I was going to give Daddy a shot. What time is it?
I already took care of it.
Huh?
Okay. I didn't know Mom woke up, but evidently she did. She told me to set her alarm at 5 for her so she could get up and give him his medicine. And I told her I set it because she can't see, so she didn't know whether I did or not. But I didn't set the alarm. I figured I could take care of it. Hey, good morning, Kelly. How are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. What time is it? Yep, 7:27. See, Mom's up now. Watch, all of a sudden these dogs will want to go in and out all the time and do all kinds of stuff because she's got them spoiled. You better not, little man. What are you barking? Buses? Do you want to go out? I knew it. I knew you would want to go out. No doubt in my mind. There we go. You good boy today, huh? You good boy today. Oh, goodness. Somebody's a sleepy man, huh? Go back and get back in bed there, buddy. Huh? You want to go back in bed? Huh? No? You want to go get grandma? Huh? Is that what you want? Oh, goodness. Somebody got woke up. You know, Kate, man, I'm with you. I can I can understand tired today. But just think, once you get in the car and start driving, you'll be all awake and refreshed and ready to go. I know, honey. Somebody wants face nuggies today. There. Nope, that's all you get. Big day today, Kelly. A lot of delivery. What are you doing now, huh? What you doing now, Sean? Huh? What you doing now? You looking out the window? Don't even look out there, buddy. I know you're a good boy. Ain't that good man? Yeah, you get there. That's all you get. You ready to get down? Go on, ready to get down. Okay, go lay with Tilly. There you go. No, I didn't say go out and wake her up, you dummy. I gotta catch back up. Yeah, Yeah, that's my little man. Oh, hold on, gotta kill a cam. We got somebody walking around in the background there. Yeah, Chris, he's a good guy, little man. When he's asleep, he just don't sleep enough.
Oh.
You need anything?
Mhm.
I said, do you need anything?
Okay, I'm gonna lay that down.
Alrighty then.
Oh.
Not as bad as LA and San Francisco, but it's a homeless ghetto. Really? I didn't know that. Steven, I didn't know that. But you know, man, I think it's happening in just about any big city right now. It's kind of amazing. Oh man, some biscuits and gravy sounds right on time, doesn't it, Chrissy? I may have to make some later, actually. Scary. Man, Mike, there's this big dog next door. He looks like he's got some yellow lab in him. He probably weighs 100 pounds, and him and little guy are buddies. And usually about 9 o'clock every morning, he comes gets let out and he comes over and stands at the side of the yard to get them to come out and play with him. And I hadn't seen him come over for a few days, so I finally seen the little kid that lives next door with him there, and I said, "Hey man, where's Butter been at?" And he's like, "Oh man," he said, "Butter's in trouble. He got a collar put on so he can't get out of the yard." And he went down and killed the chickens at the neighbor's house down the road. I was like, "Oh man, Butters can't come over and play no more." But he must have got off restriction because he came over yesterday. But he's a big old dog. Him and little guy are buddies. Is today the day that he's supposed to do that? I thought he'd done that in February. Can you guys hear the TV back there? Someone give me a thumbs up if you can. If so, I'll grab the laptop and take it in my room. Is that a thumbs up, dog, that you can hear the TV? Okay, great. I'm gonna move this stuff into my room, so give me a few. You guys just enjoy the chat for a little bit. All right, I'm back. I think I'm back anyhow. We'll see. We'll see how long this lasts anyway. You can't hear the TV still, can you? Because if you can, I ain't got no idea what else to do because it's that loud all the time. Just the facts, man. Oh, man. I made the mistake of buying the strawberry shortcake roll things yesterday. Oh, my God. You can't buy those things have got to be made illegal. Yeah, there ain't no magic happening in here right now, brother. Believe me. But it is what it is. I don't know. God must have let me have more fun than I deserved from the time I was 40 till about 49, knowing that he was going to do this to me. Yeah, Kelly, man, dude, I'm telling you, the round strawberry ones, they have got to make them illegal. I'm telling you. There's 6 in a box. Thank God there's no more than that. Terry B, you're a sick human being. That's what you are. Tuna cookies. Fun size Rice Krispie. That's a tease right there, Uncle Lou. That's not even funny. I do got a box of Nutty Bars in the freezer too, but those are for later this week. The strawberry things will be gone today. I think there's 4 left. I won't eat all 4. Dad will have 1. Yes, strawberry. Oh no, that's not what they are. But yeah, strawberry cheesecake's the bomb. Are you coming in here? You got to go back and close the door, little man. You got to close the door, little guy. What's up with that, huh? I know. Give me kisses. Will he loves it, Daddy? Hold on a minute. I gotta go close the door. You think it's bedtime, huh? Is that what you think? Hold on, let's see. We need to see if this gives us enough light or not, little man. Hold on, buddy. Yeah, is that still enough light? Yeah, I think it is. That's much better on the eyeballs than the other one was. No idea about what. Let me see. Hold on. I gotta back up. Term hog legged comes to mind. I wished. Frozen Nutty Bars. Yep, I got that idea from you, man. I ain't tried one yet, but we'll see later this week. Oh, Mike Murillo, I bought some and I can't find them anywhere now. Man, dude, I've looked all over. I can't even remember where I got them at, though. Yeah, those were good, weren't they? The Christmas Nutty Bars. Yeah, no, man, dude, I can't do that. I like tuna, but it ain't my dessert go to. You're going back to sleep, honey buddy, huh? You're gonna go back to sleep, huh? Okay, that's all right. You're a good boy. Little guy said, I'm ready to go back to bed. Dad looked at me, he's sitting there by the pillow, like, come on, dude, let's go back to bed. I'm ready. Sorry, dude. It makes it kind of grainy with just the lamp turned on, doesn't it? You can tune the piano, but you can't tune a fish with the flying turkey trot. That's Gary on the guitar over there. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, REO's best album next to their live album, pretty good too. Here comes. Where you going, huh? Where you want to get down? No, sorry, dude. I got that door closed and I'm not opening it again. I gave you the option. You had the option of either staying in here or going in there. You made your choice. Neighbors' daughters love them. I'll let that one roll. Mm-hmm. Yeah, roll with the changes because it's time to keep pushing on there, John. I actually done a speech at my graduation, and the title of my speech was "Keep Pushing On." Yep, Chris, REO. Seen them God knows how many times because they're from around this part of the country. I even seen them in Germany when I was over there. The first REO song I ever heard, I met a guy in junior high school and he was like, "Man, come over after school." And I'm like, "All right, I'll come over after I drop my books and stuff off." And I walk up to his house and I hear this kind of sound. And all of a sudden, yeah, exactly. Riding the Storm, that's what it was. It was the live REO live album. And the first song I ever heard was the intro to that with the screaming loud guitar thing. Yeah. Yeah, back REO quit making good music when they came out with the damn album that made them famous, the pop album. It was over with after that. Good morning, Mark. How are you, buddy? Because before that, REO played rock and roll. Yep. Dog, I like that. 157 Riverside Avenue. So we just sit there and played some, you know. Yeah. Son of a Poor Man is one of my favorite songs. Yeah. Mark, yeah, Mark's got to be an REO fan because they're from over that way. Yeah. Kevin Cronin's still jamming it. I seen him at Ball State a couple years back. Best one I seen him in a farm field. And this was after all the big fame and everything. Kevin was going by then, but I seen him in a big farm field one time, and me and some buddies sat on them big round bales of hay. Me and a couple buddies sit up on top of the round bales of hay, way in the back, and just jammed to the music. We was having a good time. I seen REO and no, it was Blackfoot, not Molly Hatchet. It was REO and Blackfoot, I think, in about 79 maybe or 80. And then I seen Molly Hatchet by herself, I think. Hi, Jody. Good morning, honey. Are you at work now? Glad to see you made it on time. Yeah, Ernie, I'm with you, man. The old rock and roll, they quit making good music about, I don't know, 1988 or so. Yeah, Chris, I've seen Journey 3 times. And, you know, I lost faith in rock and roll when I went to a concert and it was Journey and REO in Indianapolis. And I think REO played second, but Journey's playing, and there was a big clock in the back of the stadium that was counting down before they had what time they had to end their show. And I'm like, there's no time limit on rock and roll. Are you kidding me? What if you're having a great set and you just want, you know what I mean? So I was like, that's it. It's over with. You know, life as I knew it's done. There was no impromptu, let's just jam for an hour type thing. And I have seen Dave Matthews a couple times outdoors in Indy, and I like it. I liked it. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Good stuff, man. Good crowd. I mean, we went over there and camped, and it was a good time. my son got to see Pink Floyd at the same place, which I didn't get to see, which was on my bucket list. And then that I think that was probably the last time they toured. I know Roger Waters is still playing around, but the actual Pink Floyd band, that'll never happen again. Oh, what happened there? Did you lay down, buddy? Huh? Do you want to go out? Do you want to go over there in the living room? Huh? You want me to let you in there? Is that what you want? Yeah, you just whine enough and let me know, and I'll let you go. Did you, John? How cool was that? I know I seen what was it? An HBO special in the late 80s, early 90s, I think. The Pink Floyd. It was on an HBO special or whatever, man, and their acoustics were so unbelievable. Yep, the Wall album's the one I got turned on to Pink Floyd on. And a friend of mine, his brother was older than us, and he had Dark Side of the Moon and Animals, I think it was. And Animals is great to listen to with a set of headphones on because you actually get to hear all the animals in the background that you don't really notice if you're listening to it like on the stereo or on the radio or something. There's a lot going on in that album. Oh, you know what? The last time I logged off here, there was a thing come up said that I'd almost used all my allotted time on StreamYard. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Come to think of it. Who are you talking about, John? What band? Let me see. Oh, okay. That wasn't the. Oh. Hold on. I'll think of it. Oh, okay, Ernie. That'll work. I don't know how much time they said I had left, but I just know something came up the last time I logged off. Wish You Were Here album. Is that it, John? You want to go down low, guy? Hold on. You're killing me, Smalls. Go on. You don't want to go down? You want to get down or no? Huh? What are you going to do? Are you going to stay up here? You want to go see Grandma? Huh? You're killing me, man. What are you going to do? You going to stay in here? Okay. I don't know. Do you want to go? Come on. Killing me, man. What's it going to be? You want to go? Huh? No? Okay. Oh, goodness. You're killing me, little guy. What time is it, guys? Let's see. Oh, shoot. It's 7:53. Hold on. Look out. Let's go. Come on, buddy. There you go. See, you wouldn't want to be you. Yeah, John, I would have liked to have seen Bon Jovi on the first or so on the Slippery When Wet album, I reckon, is the tour. I would have liked to have seen that one. I seen Black Sabbath in Lakeland, Florida. What year would that have been? Probably 79, maybe. I don't remember. They're about 79 or 80. Oh man, Catfish Dog! I can't believe you went there. Yeah, I liked. Yes, I never got to see them, but I got turned on to their stuff in Germany when I was in the service. They're one of them bands, kind of like, uh, oh, Dire Straits. That they're one of them bands. They got their own sound, and when you hear the first two chords, you know who it is automatically. Yeah, Rod Stewart puts on a good show for sure. I had a buddy of mine in high school that was a Rod Stewart fanatic, and he had all these albums. I never knew you had that many albums. But yeah, I got some good old Rod Stewart too. Yeah, dog. I would imagine, yes, I can imagine their show would have been uh, one of them captivating type shows. I seen Kansas once, and their acoustics were just so phenomenal. I mean, you could hear every single note they played. It was unbelievable. It's the best sound I've ever seen at a concert. So I would imagine someone like Yes and someone like Pink Floyd, that they would be the same. That those acoustics would be dead on. Yeah, Rush was a good one. I seen them once. Oh, Hillbilly Bob Seger, man. I gotta be careful with that. Me and my brother went and seen him 4 times, and I have a hard time even listening to Bob Seger. To be honest with you, I try, but I can't, man. I ain't gonna lie. I cry every time I start, and I have to just stop listening to it, which really sucks because I loved Bob Seger. But it's been 14, 16 years thereabouts since he passed, and I still can't do it. It's unbelievable, but I don't. It's just me and him had some good times at the Bob Seger concerts, and I forget the last time I seen him, but I don't know how old he was, but I was in my 30s maybe, and they wore me out. I was sweaty and tired by the end of the show. Yeah, man, good times. I tell you, the mid to late 70s through the 80s was really a good time to be alive in America, I think. A lot of fun had during that time. Even if you were an adult in your 30s, it was still fun back then. The fridge, hell, John, I get that way getting out of the chair. I saw Def Leppard. Actually, I seen Def Leppard warm up for Billy Squire, and it blew Billy Squire off the stage that night. That was the Pyromania album, I think it was. Yeah, I'll bet it was, John. I had a 62 microbus in high school. Not quite the same as a Trans Am, but it did have a bed in the back. Enough said. Where most of my buddies, we'd all, because they cruised on Madison Street here, like I'm sure every town had a cruise place back then, and they'd all park their cars at the bank parking lot and pile in the Volkswagen van to go cruising. Hey Shirley, thanks for coming in, honey. And I'm sorry I didn't have you guys. I usually have something from the Bible pulled, but it's been so busy, man, and I haven't had time. I actually, come to think of it, I had one saved and I can't remember what it was now. Oh shoot, I should my camera isn't on, is it? My bad. There it is. Okay. 79Z28. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. They made cool cars back then. Rock and roll was good. The cops weren't Nazis. I mean, it was a good time to be alive. And then after 9/11, the police state started, and we might as well live in East Germany before the wall fell. Oh, dog, yeah, Tom Petty. I can remember the Renegade album when it came out. We was headed up. We had an old Chris Craft cabin cruiser on the lake, in northern Indiana, and me and my buddy was headed up there on a Saturday afternoon. Mom and Dad and them was already up there, and he had a gray '69 Chevy pickup with a sliding glass window in the back, and we literally had a keg of beer in the tub in the back with the hose ran in the back window, driving almost 2 hours to the lake. Could you imagine? You'd make the news today if you'd done something like that, I imagine. Yeah, I bet you do, John. I like the 69, 70 area C28 Camaros and the SS Chevelles. The Chevelles were always cool, I thought. And my buddy, he had an Oldsmobile, and trying to remember what year. It was the mid 70s, maybe early 70s. Had a 442 in it. That car was gnarly. There you go, Hillybilly. See, you're thinking like I am, man. GTO, yep, goats were gnarly. Kid that lived down the road from me, his dad, he's a year younger than me, but when he was 14 or so, his dad bought him a '69 Cuda. This would have been about 73 or 74, maybe. And kept it in the garage until the guy got his driver's license. He still has it today. He actually ended up moving to Kentucky, works at the Corvette factory down there, but he still has that car. I have no idea what it's worth. But he would never sell it. I mean, I guarantee there's no way he would sell that car. Yeah, Buick Skylark, that it may have been a Buick Skylark. It was a Buick, it was a car like that had that 442 in it. And, but it was one of them sneaky cars that didn't look fast, you know what I'm saying? And then he'd blow people away with it, on the street out cruising around. Yeah, exactly, John. Kids drive a Prius, no doubt. Times have changed. Priorities, man, they'd rather play a video game than go out and get laid. Figured that one out. I couldn't wait to turn 18 to get out of my house so I could have my own place. Then I went in the army and then come back and, got my own place. I rented this killer trailer out in the country. I called it my bachelor pad out in the woods. And yeah, life was good. And kids, they wouldn't even, half of them don't even think about getting a driver's license, let alone, I'm like, do y'all get laid? Seriously, would you rather sit and play this stupid game all weekend than go? I don't know. I don't understand it. That's why the white race is going to be pretty much extinct in 2 decades or so because they're not having kids and getting married anymore. Oh, I know, it's amazing, Hillbilly. I don't get it. Yeah, man, life was good. Yeah, figure it out, Mark. It's like they don't want to drive, and I'll tell you what, if you were a guy in your mid 20s, you could pull so many 18-year-old chicks right now because guys don't pay attention to them. They're busy playing video games and crap. I mean, it would be like a buffet. There ain't nothing wrong being in your mid 20s pulling an 18-year-old. I don't care what nobody says. Heck, there was a chick in my high school, and I had a English teacher, this young dude, and her senior year, he picked her up on spring break when she walked out of school, got in his Datsun Z28 or whatever they were called, and headed to Florida for spring break. He said he was losing his job that year anyway. He didn't care. Yeah, 10th grade prom. We didn't get ours till 11th and 12th grade. Oh, no, Terry B. Lord forbid you have a flat tire on a car. No, they got to call someone. My son, it was cool. He couldn't wait to get his license. And then we lived in the richest county in the state. And I stuck him in a little Geo Metro 4-cylinder and little beater car. And there you go, dude. That's what, until you get a job and can buy your own, that's all you got. I don't have nothing else. Oh yeah, John. There's no doubt in my mind, dude. I'm with you. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would be as scared if it was like that back then. Cause man, you'd go to some keg parties and stuff and get obliterated, and it's like, geez, dude. Just hoping she looked good in the morning when you woke up was big enough problem for me. Cause that them beer goggles on. What's that movie, Dazed and Confused? Have you seen that? That is pretty much what my high school years was like, as far as the weekend keg party out in a big field or something somewhere and everybody hanging around. I mean, that was the best depiction I've seen of kind of what it was like back then. For me, anyway. Only you would have to throw some Valium and some Quaaludes into the equation to make it really like it was. Yeah, exactly. We call them dummy buttons, John. Okay, Mark, buddy, good luck today. Are you going fishing or are you working? Oh, you ain't going fishing. It's yucky up there like it is here. Hey, Dave. Oh, yeah, there's Dave. What time you all got? Oh, you guys want to shut this down or you want to hang out more? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Because it don't matter to me one way or the other. It's not like I got much to do. I got to work, but that stuff can be done any time of the day or night. Blotters, barrels, micro. Yeah, I'm with you, John. The microdots. I didn't like blotter. I'd done it one time and it made my stomach feel funny, so I never messed with it again. But I always figured with microdots, that stuff had to be made in a lab somewhere. You know what I mean? And for it, because any idiot could make blotter acid, the way I figured it. Some perforated paper and an eyedropper. And I always thought the microdots were I can remember that these ones, they were little green plastic pyramid things, and then they had some that were just a little blue dot, a little blue, almost like a mini sweet tart, little bitty thing. And so I liked those because I knew they were, made professionally as opposed to some of the blotter you just never knew. And some really, really good experiences with that. I never got to do shrooms, which I think I'd like to, but now it would have to be in the right environment at the right place in the right time. You know what I'm saying? Nice. Oh man, we had the little plastic pyramids I was telling you about. Well, they come in a sheet of like 10 across and 10 up, a square. And you had to cut them with a razor blade, into each little individual pyramid. And I'd went and got a bunch for some people. We were having a party, and we were cutting them up on the table and stuff. Everyone got down to the last two and cut them in half, and one of them popped up in the air and fell in a black shag or the green shag carpet, just the exact same color as what these were. Well, I had to give the one to the guy because he had paid for it, so that one was mine that went in the carpet. And I was all bummed out, like, man, are you kidding me, dude? That sucks. And from where I'd cut them, there was a bunch of little bitty pieces, just laying there on the table. Just not maybe three or four little bitty pieces laying there. So I licked my finger and just got them off the table, and I was bummed, like, man, dude, I swear everybody else gonna have a good time. And I'm telling you, dude, I went on a rocket vacation that day. I couldn't believe it. Oh, that's priceless, Joe. I know we went to one concert. I can't remember which one it was now. It might have been the first. Oh, I know it was Foreigner Faith Band. Foreigner and this local band named Faith warmed up for him, and we got separated from our people. But I had the car keys, but someone else drove. But they were notorious for being a screw up. So I was like, dude, give me them keys so I know we're getting home tonight. And we couldn't find a car after the concert. We walked all the way around this place in the parking lot. It had to be 2 hours before and they were all standing around the car pissed off at us. It's like, dude, we was looking for you. Why didn't somebody yell at us? Oh my goodness. ACDC Back in Black tour. Yeah, that's one I wish I would have seen because in my opinion that was their best. The Back in Black album and tour would have been their best. Styx, that's one I hadn't thought about. Styx always put on a great show. I think the first album I seen was the Grand Illusion album, if I remember correctly, because the T-shirt had the wizard holding the crystal ball up that was the Earth or whatever. Okay, there's still 23 people in here, so I guess you all are okay with hanging around. Like I said, it don't matter to me if y'all are done. You just let me know and we'll shut her down. Yeah, we'll save that one for the boat. I got one, John. Here's one for you. I was down in Florida staying at my cousin's in the summertime, and we were all going to go to Disneyland on Saturday. Well, there were these college dudes from UCF that rented a condo in the neighborhood, and we'd end up making friends with them at the pool one day. And because we asked them if they wanted to burn one, they're like, "Yeah, man, our apartment's right here. Just come on over there." Well, this dude ended up having one of them Tootsie Roll banks. You know what I'm talking about? Half full of peyotes, this little peyote seeds. And anyone who doesn't know anything about them, Google them. It's serious stuff. I mean, way beyond a 15-year-old kid's capabilities. And this idiot gave us some of them, and we took them on the way to Disneyland with my uncle from Kentucky had come down and he was taking, and my brother had come down and he was taking all of us to Disneyland, and we ate these peyotes on the way. Bad idea. And that's the rest of that's a good story for the boat too, man. Mahogany Rush, I remember that name. Thumbs up for Trump. Yep. I'm pretty sure most of the people who hang around in here are not your typical Biden voter because we'd have done offended them 100,000 times this morning. So, and I'm really the kind of guy I don't give a shit if I offend you or not, man. Get over yourself and go somewhere else, do something else in your life that you know. Definitely don't inflict your crappy existence on my life because I don't want to hear it. Oh, did they stand? Yeah, the that was a debacle. I watched a good documentary on that one, man. Where, I mean, who would anybody with any sense would know you can't replicate something like that. It was the time and the place when that happened. I come down go fishing sometime, John. I'll tell you about my Germany stories. One of them involved a 2 day outdoor concert called the Monsters of Rock, and the other one involves going to Oktoberfest. And I'd only been in the country 3 days. I had no idea what I was doing or where. My roommate was a Spec 4P, which means he was getting ready to be a sergeant. And he talked our first sergeant into giving me a 3 day pass, and I'd been in country 3 days. And it was an interesting story. Who sent me a I don't know who that is. Go away. All right. End of conversation on that. Well, 23 people still hanging around. Let me go get a soda pop and I'll be right back. And I got to make sure mom gave dad his medicine because I didn't hear anything and I'm thinking she may have fell back asleep. I'll be right back. And if y'all are gone when I get back, I'll know that it was time to end it. Cool. That'll work. She did fall asleep. I knew she did. I'm just glad I looked at the clock. I wasn't paying attention. I got a Smith & Wesson 380. I love it. I forget. It's over here in the camera. I forget what the Smith & Wesson 380 M&P, is that right? Yeah, M&P. That's what it is. I like it a lot. I got that, and then I got a little Ruger 380 that, I don't know, it's about that big. I can put it in my pocket. But it don't have a safety, so I don't carry anything in the pipe on it. No, she didn't say she was going back to sleep, John. She said she was staying up to give him his medicine. She thought I was going to go back to sleep. You know who, Billy? My brother had a nickel-plated 357 Colt revolver, and I wish I'd have got it when he passed. His wife had it. It's hard telling what happened. The worst part is, and I think assault rifles, they were either still illegal or they just come back into being legal. But he had a mint AK-47. Wanted in a raffle at a biker party. It wasn't hot or nothing. It was in the box, brand new and everything. But it was a Russian paratrooper assault rifle. This thing was nasty cool. And you know, when your brother died, your mind scattered for a little bit, you know, and about, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks after, I remembered he had that AK in this. He had a coffee table that raised up, and there was a compartment underneath it where he kept it at. And I went over to ask his wife about it. She said, "Oh, I was so afraid to have that. I took it to the police so they could destroy it." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." Because, you know, no cop destroyed that gun. It's floating around out there somewhere. And I think she almost gave away his Harley. I don't know what happened to it. Not the shovelhead chopper he had, but his Road King or whatever. Good morning, Ashley. And I should have said, "Hey, I want that Road King and stuff too." You know, I mean, she would have gave it to me, I'm sure, at the time, but my brain wasn't working right. I had a kid that was, my oldest son was a stepson, and I raised him since he was 3. And he was on the path to getting himself sent to prison pretty quick, you know. So I had that I was dealing with, and then my brother passed, and my brain just wasn't in the right state of mind. But the one thing I did get that is irreplaceable is a BSA dealer's sign, because he had a BSA chopper in high school. Guy in town had a little BSA dealership, and Tracy was always going in there buying stuff like, you know,
Have you fed Max?
Yes,
Okay.
and you know, buying carburetors and little electronic components and everything. And he'd sit in there and talk to the guy all the time. And old guy. And when he decided to close the shop, he called my brother and told him, said, "Hey, Tracy, bring your truck over here." Said, "You come in and get anything you want out of here. I'm closing the doors." And he was going to give him whatever he wanted, basically. And because my brother was a pretty humble guy, he actually went in. The only thing he took was a little box full of electronics that would be hard to get for a BSA in America. And I forget, he may have got some side covers and other stuff. Nothing. I mean, he could have went in and filled that truck up, and Mr. Mark would have said nothing, you know. But he was standing there, kind of him-hawing around, and the old guy asked him, said, "Well, Trace, is there something else you want or something?" And he said, "Man," he said, "I'll be honest with you," he said, "I'd love to have that sign behind the counter." It's a metal BSA dealer sign. And the old boy took it off the wall and handed it to him. And that's all I have from my brother from when he passed away. And when I lived in Noblesville, when I raised my garage door up, you could see it from the street. And this was kind of a rich community. Hey, good morning, Lee. How are you, buddy? It's so good to see you. But this was kind of a rich area. And I don't know how many times people stop by went by that sign, because it's not, been redone where it's painted and all pretty and everything. It's got, little rust out spots and dents, and it's original. And remember, I told one guy, he come up, you can tell he had money guy. He said, "Ma'am, you want to sell that sign?" I said, "Sir, there ain't enough money in the world to buy that sign from me." He said, "Well, what if I offered you $1 million?" I said, "I'd tell you the same thing. There ain't enough money to buy that sign from me." Now, $1 million, I'd have probably sold it, but he'd had to bring me a cashier's check that day. I know if I hadn't sold it, my brother would come back and haunt me and told me how much of an idiot I was. But punch boards, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hey, Lee, how'd that fishing trip go, man? Wasn't you getting ready to take off here just a week or two ago for the weekend down in Tennessee? I won a McCullough chainsaw on one of them punch boards at a liquor store one time. Liquor store by my house. We went in and out all the time when I was younger. Ashley Brady, what are you doing? No kidding, Lee. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I'm so glad. How cool. Man, you nailed the right time, didn't you? You go with somebody that knows the area real well or something. Eating Doritos on the couch with my dog. Ashley, they should make a commercial about that because that's about as good as it gets. Maybe throw in a big glass of Mountain Dew with it, and I couldn't see where I'd want to do anything else the rest of my life. Don't say it like waffle. It's going to be an allergy week. My nose is running. Hey, man, for 60 fish in 2 days or whatever, yeah, I'll pack them around all day. Not only will I pack them around, I will fix their lunch and feed them every day. You kidding me? Ash, if you live close to me, I would pay you to come and clean this house. I'm on the verge of hiring someone to start doing some stuff like that because I can't keep up, man. Mom lost her eyesight, so she can't even clean anymore. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm doing my best keeping up with what I got, but there's things that do get neglected. And I still got ton. You can't even get in the garage from when we moved with all the stuff in there that I need to go through and get rid of most of it. All right, John, man, it's good seeing you, buddy. I'm getting ready to cut it down too. Tell Mom I said hi and that she did in fact have children and they live in Indiana. Hey, Chad, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, I bet you are. That'll be scary. Be nice to him. Don't run him off or nothing. But that's actually a good way to get to know the boyfriend and have talk with him. To be honest with you, Lee. That way, you'll find out whether he's an idiot or not. And if he's an idiot, you can start working on getting rid of him. I know that's horrible to say, but it's a fact. You spend about 3 hours with a kid that's in his teens, you'll know in a short span whether he's an idiot or not. What are you doing, buddy? Huh? You want to go out? Come on up here. Yeah. Well, I've been on 3 hours and 32 minutes, so yeah, swim. Exactly. See if you can swim or not. Yeah, that's a good way to get rid of him too, Chrissy. That's for sure, because he'll come over to see dad all the time instead of the daughter. If you catch a bunch of fish, he'll want to come fishing all the time, and the daughter will get mad and break up with him because all he wants to do is come over and hang out with Pop. I couldn't have had daughters, man. I couldn't imagine it. I would be so protective. Yes, I would. Thank God I had a boy. I'll be on tomorrow morning. I'm gonna try and do every morning this week for Hog Leg Hillbilly. We'll see. Like I posted before, it all depends on what kind of night I have with Dad. I mean, if he has a bad night and I'm up most of the night, then yeah, it's not going to happen. But I'll post a thing, saying that, hey man, sorry, I can't do it today. Yeah, that's truly they aren't. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. My son, who was my real son, the other boy was my stepson. That I haven't seen him in 7 or 8 years now, but he was a pretty good kid. I got lucky with that one, and that's what I couldn't figure out, how the oldest one that was raised in the same house with the same people around all my friends who were just hardworking, average people with good morals, and this kid grows up to be a criminal. I'm like, he was great through high school and all school. He played sports, made great grades and everything, and it seemed like when high school ended, man, he was done. Off he went down the road. I'm going to be in prison the rest of my life, probably. I want to go, brother. Where you been? We've been here since 5 o'clock this morning. You come in at what, 8:45 or some crazy thing like that, 8:35, and expect us to sit here and hang out with you now? Now what am I going to do? Yes, you can. And I had talks with him. I mean, I didn't just give up on him the first time he got in trouble or nothing. I tried, man. I worked with that boy for about 5 years, and eventually you just got to say, hey, dude, until you figure it out, don't come around no more, because you're an idiot and you're a criminal. And if you weren't my son, I would never talk to people like you. So I'm drawing the line. And I hadn't seen him since. Oh, wow. Okay, Lee. Well, holler if you need anything. Is Mama with you? If she is, give her a kiss on the cheek for me. Tell her I say hey. Who was with you, J Dog? And don't say I should have been there. I'd have loved to have been there, but I was preoccupied giving shots of morphine every hour and pain pills every 4 hours. Oh, really? No kidding. Damn, man, I don't want to know that, dude. Don't tell me. Yeah, I don't want to know. Yeah, what a bummer. Yeah, if it was the two boys, that's cool then. I haven't seen them this morning. I guess they just decided not to be my friend when the Hog Leg show ain't on or whatever, but that's all right. That's all right. I know who my friends are now. I'm running on, let's see, 4 hours of sleep last night. The night before, about 2.5 hours. And I did have to deal with Dad yesterday evening because he finally got up for a while, and then he started talking gibberish about stuff, and Mom don't know how to handle that. I'm like, Mom, just agree with whatever he says. Say yes and shake your head a lot. That's what I done with Grandma, and it worked perfectly fine. And thank you, Chrissy. And I forget, one point he said something last night, because I went in and sat in the living room with him instead of at my computer like I usually do, watching YouTube and stuff. And he looked over and said, "Did you ever find that money?" I'm like, "Yep." I found that, and I put that up about probably a week ago, Pop. I have no idea what he's saying or talking about, but I know he's not there right now. You know what I mean? So I was like, "Yep, sure did. I put that up." And then what was the other one? Where's those electrical parts at? Guys come by to get them. I said, "Pop, I set them out in the garage. Told him just go in and get them when he gets here." So if you ever go through someone who gets dementia and they start, because and with that, it's weird. It comes and goes, like that one there. He was perfectly fine 1 hour, and the next hour, bam, hello the wacky world. You know what I mean? And fortunately, I went through it with Grandma, and I figured out how to make it work. Because you can't try to correct them, because like Grandma would see people. She'd see a guy in a top hat in the backyard. No doubt in my mind, she's seen that person. So what good is it going to do you to say, "No, you didn't, Grandma"? I just play along. I'd always tell Grandma, "I told him not to come back. Is he there again? I'll take care of that for you." You're right. You really shake your head, agree, say yes, and go and do what you exactly. Just play along with whatever they got going on. And the other day, what was it? Might have been Friday or Thursday, maybe, but he was looking around on the little table behind his chair, and the guy was supposed to come pick the electrical parts up then, too, I think is what it was. Some other kind of I forget. He said he named something, but it's something he probably made up. Yeah, I think people just live too long nowadays, because of the advancements in medicine and everything. And I think that, dementia is like the brain saying, "Man, dude, I've had enough. I'm done. We're quitting. You can keep going doing your body thing, but I'm done. I'm checking out." I think, because you reach a certain point, like with Grandma, and it's going to happen with Dad, that you're not even really living, you're just alive. And nobody on earth wants to be that. They can't help it because there's nothing they can do. They don't know what's happening really. Somebody sent me a message, probably a work thing. Hold on, it's Dad's nurse. Oops. Okay. All right, guys, we got two options here. I'm going to have to shut this down because the nurse just texted me to know if she'd come by early today. She usually comes in the afternoon, but she wants to come by at 9. So I'm going to go wake Pop up and see if he wants to be coherent, or I'll let him sleep until she gets here if he doesn't want to be coherent. But it's been real. I had a great time. I will be here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Unless something happens with Pop, then, I won't be here. But I'll post something either way. I'll either post the thing I'm going live whatever time or whatever, or I'll put something on my community page saying, not today, guys. Sorry. One of the two. And I appreciate there's 21 people here. I have no idea who all's there in the background, but thank you for hanging out. And the ones who interacted with me through the chat, man, thank you so much. It really helps a lot. And I did have the tab pinned up there, and don't be afraid to come up. I will not kick you out of the live, J-Dog. But it was my first, or it was my second live ever, and I was trying to ask a very important question, and I couldn't get Avid and the other guy to stop talking. So muted them 3 times. They kept unmuting, and when I muted them, I tried to tell them what I was doing, and they wouldn't listen. So I had no choice but to kick them out so I could ask the thing about John I needed to know. So if you don't want to come up, that's fine too. I'm doing this by myself, and I'm jamming it. So I'm going to be confident from now on. That's what it is. Anyway, man, thanks, guys. I'm going to be out of here. I got to go get Pop Up and see if I can get him to put some clothes on. He tends to go around naked sometimes when he's in his room and goes to the bathroom. He's slept naked his whole life, as far as I know. You're Chrissy. I don't. I'm teasing with you, honey. It's not that big a deal, really. You know, I can sit here and talk like this to the chat all day, and I'm only doing it because I told Hogleg and them that I would do it, because I know how much it sucks not to have the show when you wake up every day. And it's almost like a counseling session that we've all gotten used to. You know what I mean? Hi, Dee. Thank you for watching, honey. I appreciate it. You get home today, you give that husband yours a big kiss on his cheek and tell him it came from me. But no tongue. Eric, all right, buddy. I'll see you, man. Thanks. Come up next time, man. I could use the help. Even if you're driving and I can just see you. That'd be good enough for me, man. And everybody else in here, thank you. I love you all. You don't have any idea what it means to have you guys around as friends to help me the last couple years. I truly appreciate it. yeah, exactly, Hillbilly. That's it. You never know what's going to happen. You know, Grandma got so bad that, you know, eventually I had to put her in a nursing home because I had to keep an eye on her 24 hours a day. And there's something that happens with them, and it's got to be something to do with their adrenaline glands or whatever. But they'll go through one of those dementia spells or whatever, and they won't sleep. And it's like something just opened the floodgate on their adrenaline gene or something, and they're just awake. And Dad done it about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and they're not tired. They don't want to go to sleep, and you're like, man, dude, I know you got to be tired by now. And Grandma would be up 24 hours easy, and if you're trying to work a regular job, it's impossible to do. If I had help, it wouldn't be so bad, even if they're going to stay up 24 hours and I could switch off with someone and it, it's not a problem. Like, shit, you're 86 years old. If you want to stay up 26 hours and sleep for 2 days, who cares, But when you're trying to do it yourself and keep them from hurting herself or whatever, it's pretty hard to do. Makes you want to give them some sleeping pills like some melatonin or something. But that doesn't work neither. And with that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, y'all. Chad, if I stick my tongue in your ear, you can't tell nobody. That's the deal, remember? You always got to be trying to ruin the good things we had going here. Now what am I going to do? we'll discuss this in private. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I gotta go.